This is the second part of my massive 12.5-hour long dive into Hypnospace Outlaw. If you haven't watched part 1, please start there. None of this will make any sense if you don't. For those of you coming here after watching part 1, thank you so much for clicking on over. YouTube sadly doesn't allow uploads that are more than 12 hours long. I hope that this didn't stifle your viewing experience. A lot of love went into this video, and so I hope this unceremonious splitting doesn't get in the way of that. So, where did we leave off? We had just censored our employer, Dylan Merchant's music piracy, and he punished us by firing us from our Hypnospace enforcer position. So is that it? We've been game ended? Well, our Hypnospace visor boots up again. On New Year's Eve. Jeez, so it's been more than a month if I'm not mistaken. Are we reinstated, or are we just going to use Hypnospace as a regular user now?
Important message received from dispatch. Welcome back, Hightower. It's been 35 days since you last logged on. Wow, that's a long time.
That's right, the Y2K update. The install bar seems to be glitchy, and even our system seems to be struggling to download this patch. That being said, this lounge version of the Millennium Anthem is quite nice. Now, while this patch is downloading, we actually get a few messages. They're dated right at midnight of New Year's, so the ball must have dropped. Phew, I was worried that there was going to be some sort of world-ending sequence. Let's go ahead and read these messages. From MS Samantha. Oops, I'm so sorry. Hi, Enforcer. So, I don't know if it was me, or the system, or what, but it looks like you were removed from the active Enforcer list, which means you've probably been really bored over the last few weeks. This very well could have been my mistake, and I'm so sorry. This is not an excuse, but I don't think I've ever been this exhausted at a job. Our interns are off for the holidays, so Dylan has some of us pulling double duty with HSPD stuff. That's on top of our normal tasks. I just added you back as an active enforcer. You'll receive cases after the year 2000 update finishes installing. See you in the new millennium. Sorry again. If only we were able to tell Samantha that it's not her fault. Once the patch installs, we can either restart the system or wait until it forces a restart. Oh wow, that's clever. We get to see the change in style from the old, chunky, blocky Windows 98-ish style to a more sleek Windows XP style. In Hypnospace, this style is called Gleam. Even the system noises sound different. And look at that wallpaper. That just reeks of the style of the time.
Oi 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 oi. Important message received from dispatch.
Oh geez, yeah, it seems that we've got a ton of bugs here. As much as a useless piece of junk hippie is, it does pain me that he suffers every time the OS stutters. Oh well. Going into our inbox, we find some updates from Dispatch. Best Deals Terry has received a warning for persisting in his virus dissemination. Based on Dispatch's note, they seem to believe his story that he didn't know how to remove the virus downloads. And Burnin' Rubber 50 has been permabanned. That's a bit extreme. But, hey, maybe it's best that he spends time with his family on New Year's Eve, and not on Hypnospace. According to Dispatch's notes, somebody in Good Time Valley needed to be made an example of, and I guess it was him. Now let's get to our new case. Something called the year 2000 Mine Crash. Now that sounds sinister. Hello, Enforcer. Someone has hacked into the Teamtopia main page and are threatening some sort of attack. I'm not sure what you Enforcers can do about this, but if I don't assign the case, I'll never hear the end of it from my bosses. Since the violations are on official MerchantSoft pages, the system will reject any quick checks you do. It would be an easy fix if everyone with administrative access wasn't out of the office. Still, look into it if you think you can find a way to stop it. Sam. Well, glad to be back. I admire the new Hypnospace logo, and after looking through some of the new wallpapers, I go back to Renderman's Oceanic Scape. I think it fits my Millennium Tower of Doom quite nicely. Looking at the case file, we can see that this is a virus specifically affecting Teentopia. Good to know. Clicking on over to Teentopia, we see that the zone page has been ransacked by those true Tranquility Hearts. Of course, it's Tim. The Y2K mine crash cometh. The digital parasites you love so much are in danger. Only one can stop it. If only you'd make peace with your blessed imparted name. Mother of son of Tim, dearest chosen one, then you could save them. What a fool. Is Tim trying to pull this stunt to impress Tiff? He's even making references to his nickname for her. If we click on the Mine Crash link, we're taken to a digital parasite-esque facsimile, but instead of a fake browser, it's a fake countdown. I will say, Tim is pretty crafty. The headband ID for this page is the official Merchantsoft one, ending in 04D. And while the link to this page is found in the clickable element in Teentopia, the actual address of the headband ID is in Hypnospace Central. So only people with top permissions can actually deal with this directly. Our only path forward is to answer this very easy to solve riddle. In case we need hints, we have some on-the-nose ones right here in front of us. If thou art the beloved, accept thy imparted name to disable the mind crashotron. Pure and lovely hot chocolate garnish, where have you gone? Only you can save them. Only you can stop this. Your future boyfriend, Tim. Only my mommy can save Hypnospace. Come on, Mom! Now, it's very clear that the password is marshmallow. However, we just got here. Let's see how the rest of Hypnospace has changed and improved from this year 2000 patch. While I intend to cover the pages in a specific order, I get distracted. There's a new virtual pet on Teentopia, the Love Squid. I think this one is my favorite because of its 3D depiction. That's cool, get at him, he's fucking surfing. It's sick. Oh shit. I'm gonna release him into the wild. Bye-bye, Squid. Squid Games! Still sidetracked, I check out Ashley's Spinning Planets page to find that her mother has doubled up on the Beef Brain shield. There's also this funny smiley Ashley's decorated her page with, that we will come to learn was created by Arlen. Of course, she's a kid, so she doesn't think to credit the original artist. Let's read the updated note from Ashley's mother. Note to other parents and kids. Hello, this is Ashley's mother once again. I can't understand why none of you care about your children, but since it's obvious that you don't, I don't want her learning things from your bad eggs. Ashley is forbidden to talk to any of the other kids in Teentopia, and her chit-chat has been deleted. That's honestly a good call. Helicopter parent aside, that's a good call. Do not send her messages. I will be watching. Probably a good call to regulate your kiddo's screen time regardless. Although in Hypnospace, I guess it would be called beam time. Now, getting back on track, the best place to update ourselves on some of the new changes that took place while we were getting an unpaid leave is Hypnospace Central. And its main zone page is totally redone. It looks very nice and has that snazzy Millennium Anthem lounge music. It's got a cool little Millennium lounge theme. Let's go ahead and update ourselves on the tech news that broke leading into Y2K. Sleeptime Giants host immersive high-tech New Year's Eve events. Last weekend, Hypnospace and Cyberworlds announced events to usher their users into the new millennium with style. Cyberworlds is preparing a real-life shindig for their small but growing audience of consumers. The second-place company in the Sleeptime Innovation Race invited their users to an impromptu convention based outside their modest offices in lukewarm Pencil Bay, California. The evening of food, games, and drink will culminate in a small fireworks display as the new year begins. So, despite them being a tech giant, they want real-life outdoor stuff for their users. On the other hand, Global Newsroom can confirm that Merchantsoft is launching a groundbreaking update to their already revolutionary service, rolling out to logged-in users live the moment the new year begins. Announced changes include graphical improvements and an increased quantity of content for every segment of the prodigious Hypnospace audience. When asked for comment, Dylan Merchant just had this to say. Yup. Artie Dispenza elaborated, saying, on Dylan's behalf, we have a firm belief that the universe will make the first minute of the new age the best for Hypnospace users across the continental United States. The millennium awaits. We at Global Newsroom wish everyone a happy New Year's Eve in sleep time. Gotcha! So Cyberworlds is holding real-life events, and Hypnospace will be holding celebrations on the platform. That little bit from Artie Dispenza sounds like a bit of foreshadowing. Here's another bit of tech news on Beef Brain. Independent health experts put Beef Brain hoax to bed. Global Newsroom reporters investigated recent claims that use of sleep-time computing units induces a negative physiological effect known as Beef Brain. After a week of study with Merchantsoft and independent experts, we can now confirm that there is no truth to this scandal in the making. According to Merchantsoft, digital security expert and semi-pro volleyball player Derek Truck, infamous hacker group Minx is responsible for the hoax. They've done it before, Truck says, and now they're just doing it again. However, we believe our users are smart enough to know better and see past the obvious manipulation of so-called evidence, as well as the clearly doctored photos. For pity's sake, they left a copyright symbol at the bottom of the page. Beef Brain protected stickers, banners, and page borders have spread across Hypnospace since rumors broke in the past month. Hopefully, these expert denials will stop the hoax in its tracks before it can cause any more trouble than it already has. While yes, we know it's a hoax, I can't help but notice that a lot of people have been making statuses about feeling more tired after using Hypnospace. even dating back to our very first shift, and we will come to see more people complain about fatigue in this current shift. After all, a product that makes it so that sleep time is no longer downtime is certainly going to screw with your sleep. Beef brain scandal or not, keep this in mind. The next bit of news is a listicle of various criminals with ironic names. Now, while the crime section is pretty funny, Jay Stolen, like Jay Tholen. I love this nickname. Javier Great Mime Dragliacci Nelson. Dragliacci. That's pretty good. I've got a pit in my stomach regarding this New Year's mind crash virus. Let's keep moving forward. In the brand new Hypno Mall, we can purchase stickers, backgrounds, and themes for our desktop. Kinda wish we had access to this early on. I feel that the customizability of our earlier shifts was a bit lacking, but that may be an issue with Merchantsoft, not the actual devs of this game. I add a couple stickers to my page and return to the Hypnospace Central Zone to find, a page titled Stop Using Hypnospace. That's foreboding.
Stop using Hypnospace. Look inside. This is not a joke. By Reckoning Incorporated. The Revelator has arrived. If you do not stop using Hypnospace, you will die. I know I'm known for minks, but this is not a hoax. This is not a scam. Page text removed due to violation of Hypnospace law. A bunch of stuff was removed and then buried in Agent Merchant's deleted mail folder.
I see. Reckoning from Minx has hijacked himself a page on Hypnospace Central. Is he talking about the Y2K mind crash? Is Timogeddon truly up to something sinister?
Now here's what's an interesting quirk to this, right? You can't click on these. These are download and mirror downloads, right? What's kind of an interesting quirk to this, that you can actually click on these with the all-seeing eye, which is kind of nuts.
Downloading deleted. Deleted. 1.
These deleted files have been wiped beyond perusing. While we can still download them, there's no way we can see the contents that were once on them. Don't worry though, we'll be able to find a mirror. Just not in this shift. What the hell is Timogeddon up to? What kind of stunt is he pulling here that even Reckoning is worried that will lead to people's deaths?
Your life saved by Reckoning Incorporated.
In the About page for Merchantsoft, we can find that Roddy has been replaced by a PR manager. Now, we will come to learn that he's still helping Dylan behind the scenes with this update out of loyalty and friendship. Poor Roddy. Dylan does not deserve a friend like him.
Barbara Dugnut.
The only anomalous thing we can find here is a new status by Adrian. It seems he's still accidentally typing private message into his status bar. It reads,
Tell them to hang up. A bunch of malarkey. I'm sick and tired of this incompetence every single time.
This does not bode well. If the careless, aloof Adrian is flustered, then something must be up. On Dylan's page, there's nothing new except this blurb, directed to the press.
Press, if you're looking for a hot lead on a new Hypnospace game experience, message me as soon as possible for an exclusive press preview version. Slots are filling up quickly. A shitty game.
Dylan, priorities? Jeez. On Artie Dispenza's page, we have an updated backstory to the new Hypnospace logo, titled Omnipresence.
His status, new millennium, new image, new life, 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 life. Numbers, meaning, all. Omnipresence, a new Hypnospace logo story by Artie. Rounded, curved, easy. It's for me.
Kind of like a Red Guard scimitar.
Glass, reflection, semi-transparent, see inside. Familiar, celestial, gentle, genteel, meek, powerful, omnipresence.
And finally, Samantha Clausen's page.
This may get me into trouble, but please do not use Hypnospace tonight. Do New Year's with your friends and family in real life. There are going to be bugs, and it's gonna be bad.
So we have bugs and teenage cyber terrorism. That pit in my stomach is ever growing. Scrolling down, we can see that Samantha has replaced her link to Barnaby's chair to Tamara's poetry page, lauding her excellent writing. She's no longer shouting out Barnaby's chair because it seems they've kicked off another member. The trio had become a duo, and now the duo is just a single frontman. We'll learn the new name is simply Barnaby, so I guess the other two members were the chair. She calls their new single whiny and weird. Here's her devlog update. Mind you, this was in December 12th, so likely before her attitude against Merchantsoft reached its current soured state.
Short update here. I'm amazed at all the different things going on at this company. So many unannounced little projects. One in particular that I like is Barbara Dugnut. Barbara Dugnut, our new PR person who they've hired to make sure all the communities in our zones are happy and taken care of. Lately, I've been working as an HSPD dispatch agent. Not what I expected to be doing here. I'm a programmer, but I can't complain. It's a paycheck. I do hope that our two other programmers and the interns can get all those year 2000 features finished in time.
Evidently, there's still a lot to be hammered out. Lastly, we click over to Chowderman's page to find that the rip-roaring intro has been replaced with a more somber splash page.
Muscle boys, freak sheets, I hope you like the final Chowderman song. Now I must bid you adieu. All great things must come to an end. The release of Please Come Back Home marks the final chapter of Chowderman's career as a rock legend and celebrated songwriter. As a thank you for his loyal fans for years of support, he has decided to release Please Come Back Home for free.
While it's nice that you've released this single for free, you've got a lot of personal reckoning, Chowderman. Stay the path. Don't let your brother cuff down more than you already have. Godspeed.
Come back home.
Now on a lighter note, let's check out the cafe. I really like this new front to the zone. It's very cozy and sleek, and you've got Zarid's Earth Funk playing.
The cafe is a relaxed zone for Hypnospace citizens of any shape, size, or color. New to Hypnospace? Don't worry, we've got you covered. Check out our new guide to get started.
Our first stop is the main page for Barnaby, formerly Barnaby's Chair. Let's go ahead and listen to this supposedly whiny and weird new track. Not gonna lie, I kinda like it. Maybe there's something thematic here. This very imperfect love of the past now fading in memory, only preserved through old Polaroids, which is Hypnospace's version of Polaroid pictures, just spelled differently. Perhaps it's fitting that Barnaby's Chair has gone through its own member-by-member entropy with the 20th century reaching its requiem, that there would be one song to signify the pain of lost memory, an era, a love gone forever. Up next is the dumpster.
The dumpster is on hiatus. I think I'm running out of horrible garbage to share. I mean, there's a lot of it, but it's all the same. Bad songs, bad poems, bad this or that. Maybe I'll start doing something constructive.
It seems the professional haterade salesman is burnt out. Still though, there's a backlog starting from the beginning of December. The first article is titled Hypnospace Lovers.
As in people who use Hypnospace who are in love, not people who love Hypnospace itself. Love between online parties has a particularly greasy, nasty vibe to it. I mean, these people don't really know one another. They could be both gross, and they probably are gross. I don't feel like writing today, so I'll let their content do the work for me. Visual assets here.
Oh, I was expecting a roast of Gus and Sherry, or maybe the fake girlfriends of Teentopia. The next one is titled The Venue, Already Bad.
The Venue, Already Bad. After seeing the Cool Punk Paradise, Starport Castle, Dream Station disasters, investors forced Merchantsoft to consult with this fancy PR lady. As a result, all of the zones have been given a graphical overhaul, and they're doing all kinds of backpedaling to placate their fragile user base. One of my Minx compatriots has a gig as an intern at Merchantsoft and has been hard at work helping to touch up a few of the Hypnospace zones. Let's call him Jay.
He's referring to Jezzo, aka Dr. Minx, the disinfo aficionado of Minx who, according to the dumpster, has a job at Merchantsoft.
One of Jay's projects is, or was rather, a page called Open Mic at the Venue, which was supposed to feature new creative work submitted by Hypnospace citizens every week. As one might expect, Jay would have done his best to highlight the absolute worst of the worst for our amusement. He let me in on such work, which you can find here in the cavern.
We'll have to check that out. I kinda like the idea of platforms featuring users on the front page.
Sidebar, the cavern. Like the Freelands, but more confusing and for jobless artsy cosmites. Get a job, slackers. Some of the cavern is legitimately interesting. Only problem is that fungus guy letting anyone post whatever awful trash they want. Unfortunately, Open Mic became something bland and soulless under the iron fist of the new PR lady. I know the dumpster isn't in a position to make ethical critiques, but if they're going to try and pretend to promote work by Hypnospace citizens, they could at least get their names right.
Up next, let's dive into Aldrin's House of Sounds.
Hello, music lovers. Bill Aldrin here, welcoming you to a new Hypnospace version of Aldrin's House of Sound. You may be familiar with my magazine if you're from the Ojai area and frequent our music shops and clubs. If this is your first time reading Aldrin's House of Sound, I hope you find something you like here. You'll find well-researched band biographies and discographies here, as well as album and concert reviews.
With the help of the wonderful souls of Greg and Arlen, his page is finally looking really nice. His weekly pick is Barnaby and has an interview with Casper Sunderberg.
Casper, hello. First, I have to start by thanking you for all the great music you've made over the years. My pleasure. Before we get to your past with your band Clifta, how are you? What have you been occupying your time with these days? I'm just enjoying life here in sunny California. Most of the time during the day, I'm occupied with my airbrush art business. That's what happens when you throw a Swedish person in California, he becomes Canadian. That's just what we're doing now. Sorry, guys. We're known for our fantasy and science fiction art on vans and trucks, but we also provide more mundane commercial art services. Other than that, I'm usually at home with my family. Your art does seem full of imagination and wonder. In some ways, do you see this as a natural progression from what you did with your music? No doubt about it. Just like the music, visual art begins in the head, travels through the heart, and exits from the fingertips. Wow, very poignant. That's something to ponder. Have you ever considered returning to music or working in the music industry again? Any interest at all? To be honest, I have been experimenting more lately with digital synthesis. We'll see, I suppose. I've become inspired again thanks to a weird happening in my home country in Sweden. My parents, both of whom live there, decided to move to a nursing home and sell their house. I recently traveled back to help them with their move and pick up some of my old things from the house. In their basement, I found an old arcade cabinet prototype that Clifta actually helped design music for. The unit was named Rotor, and was notable for being the first and perhaps only arcade system machine with a magnetic tape music playback system.
Now that is novel. So instead of sound chips we're used to in video game systems, the thing was programmed to like legit play physical tapes. That must have been so expensive to develop, but damn it, I love the Sisyphean creative endeavor.
These 8 cartridges hold looping tapes that fade in and out depending on the on-screen action, 4 of music and 4 sound effects. Absolutely incredible. And what a treat that music is. Reader note, Casper sent this music to me through Hypnospace before this interview was conducted. I'm very fortunate that my parents cared enough to keep it. What's better though, is that our music recordings sounded pristine. They're as good as any of our official releases in my opinion. After B failed to sell, we were taking any money, making opportunity we could find. A few tinkerers offered us the equivalent of $600 or $700, and we quickly agreed. Plus, it was a neat project. I have to go now, dinner with the mother-in-law. You know how it is. Thank you for your time, Casper.
Maybe I'm just getting old, but something about him ending the interview to have dinner with his family is just so sick. When this channel inevitably falls off, I hope I have the same attitude as Mr. Sunderberg.
Casper was kind enough to give me Clifta's entire Lost album to share with our readers. Please, enjoy.
There's no need to download it, we got it when we found Carl's FLST. Not much on Jazz's software reviews except his status.
Updated my software reviews. Why am I so tired? If I'm sleeping now.
Foreboding. So even Jazz is getting fatigued. It's sad because I remember on our very first shift, Jasmine was planning to take a break from Hypnospace. There's also a review for HypnoCure Pro, calling it useless. This just serves as an additional hint pointing us in the direction of HypnoCure as a possible puzzle piece. Been there, done that. Up next is Reggie Paulson's page, where he admits that he sees eye to eye with some of his more socialistic cafe comrades, but still assures them that he bleeds red, white, and blue. Nothing of note here, really. I'm just happy that he feels at home among a crowd he wouldn't otherwise be exposed to. Hey, that's what the internet is for after all. Very cool. And while I haven't been using Soundscape during this playthrough, there's an easy to miss little hint towards an amusing excursion.
Check out the amazing free Soundscape Jezzo made over in OpenEyed. It's a little weird, but we do love it.
That's very cool. As we've already established, Soundscapes is a freemium sort of software, in that you can download it for free and then purchase any extra premium Soundscape packages. However, I like how they encourage others to make free soundscapes. On one hand, it's shooting themselves in the foot business-wise, but on the other hand, it preserves their legacy on the internet. Even if the person who made the soundscape is the troll Jezzo, we'll still have to take a look at it. I'm sure it's amusing. Up next is the big lovable communard himself, Howard Newson.
Howard's life tricks, Howard Newson status. My head is fuzzy. Anyone else feel like that in Hypnospace?
It seems Hypnospace has expropriated his sleep cycle. His updated office trick this week is a final lauding of the benefits of forming unions. Let's take a look to see if his socialistic newsletter has any new updates. It seems there was a call for young artists to make submissions for a new workers' alternative mascot, and also a revelation about the true intentions of Tina Briggs, the heir to the Gumshoe IP.
Update: Tina Briggs is not a comrade. Unfortunately, it seems that Tina Briggs was merely doing business by their earlier maneuvering, as Gumshoe Gooper is now adorning the marketing campaigns of some of capitalism's vilest megacorporations. Next time, we will investigate further. He's just a fish.
I see. Something tells me that Gumshoe Gooper is back on the menu. I'm sure the Good Time Valley citizens are pleased with this. And last up in the cafe zone, we take a gander at Tamara Frost's page. She has a new spoken word poem called Ghastly.
When I'm scared, and it's late at night, and I imagine moving shadows and sharp teeth glinting and wrestling dangerous feet, I close my eyes. I listen for the thing I fear. The tingle on my spine and the back of my hands and the curl in my feet. Waves on my shore, a shore that does not break. Listen. Listen. Curl tighter. Keep my eyes closed. Listen. Here it comes. Reach out quickly now. Quick grab and... I open my eyes, I open my hand. All I hold is moonlight and a nightmare that does not exist. I let it go. I sleep, and I do not break.
That's probably my most favorite one.
It's very nice and soothing. A simple poem about not being driven by fear. That the things that may scare us may actually be beautiful if we simply let go of our fear. The next zone is Good Time Valley.
All right, Good Time Valley. Oh my gosh. What the Here at Hypnospace, we're going back to basics. Adrian Merchant here, CEO of Hypnospace. As an American businessman who started this company with little more than the lint in my pockets, I'm grateful every day for the country that gave me the opportunity to be a success. That's why we've decided to give you folks a peek at our very special new television commercial, Back to Basics.
If you know the sore, tired feeling after a hard day's work and the satisfaction of a job well done, if you know the value of fine, skilled craftsmanship, that sense of accomplishment by using your own two hands, if you know that time is fleeting and know to spend it with those who really matter, we hear you. That's why at Hypnospace, we've handcrafted a simple back-to-basics way for you to experience more of what really matters in life. There's even a free no-catch trial to get you started. No frills, no compromises. That's Hypnospace.
What a shit show. This can literally be a commercial for anything.
Fucking Gumshoe Gooper.
Our first page is Abigail's new Gooper page.
The battle has been won, but the war has just begun. After a long and grueling battle and pressure from Bopos, Merchant Soft finally relented to the will of the people. It's high time these snooty high-tech companies learn that they can't just trample on people. They need to sit up and listen to the music.
I see. So Bopos threw their hat in the ring and got Hypnospace to loosen up. But I wonder how they got the Briggs estate on board. On Abby's main page, she continues to celebrate the win for the Gumshoe fandom.
We did it. Gumshoe Gooper is back. Did you all see that Back to Basics commercial? Good on you, Merchant Soft. It took you too long, and I'm not quite buying it yet, but I applaud the effort.
That Back to Basics video isn't even good propaganda. It's just old-timey, vaguely nostalgic imagery accompanied by a score of nothing burger platitudes. Are we really so easy to manipulate? I'm not mad, I'm just disappointed. On a funnier note, Abby has left up the first grade Gumshoe Gooper art with its removed elements as a monument to the Gumshoe Gooper struggle. Aside from a new page featuring some cute Christmas Gooper art from her students, there's not much else.
Bopos. Bopos fine meats. We salute you, W.E. Briggs. Gumshoe Gooper used with permission. Signature gourmet beef franks. Pick up a pack at your local Remy's or ask for a Bopos dog at your workplace's lunch counter. Mention this Hypnospace page and receive a free, delicious condiment packet. If you just saw the arm movements I was making while doing this.
Moving on, aside from some minor changes to Bopos, Granny Cream, and Hypno Heaven, there's not much else to scour. How about an update from the community leader, Scotty?
Update 2. You could all put Gumshoe Gooper cartoons back on your page again. Thanks, Scotty.
Riveting. And now we have Mavis. She's renewed her Hypnospace subscription and we can now read through her page.
I'm very excited to be spending New Year's Eve in Hypnospace chit-chatting with you all. Alan is giving me lessons. I reserved the Hypnospace headband for New Year's Eve, so you can expect to see Mavis online and loving it. Dorothy has been moved to... Dorothy has been moved to the memory unit. Please do visit her soon. She's getting worse by the day.
I see. So Mavis lives in a nursing home and Dorothy has been moved to a unit that I assume specializes in elders with cognitive and memory issues. Brutal.
I can only use this headband 1 time a week. It makes me so sleepy.
Jeez, so she's using her allotted Hypnospace usage to spend time here on New Year's Eve. This can't be a good idea with this Minecraft shit going on. She's got a sweet little blurb here, in awe of this spinning image of a ballerina.
Isn't that nice? It's like a music box.
I love her so much.
And to overload on the sweetness, she uses the tab template to feature the pages of her friends on Hypnospace. Interestingly enough, if we click on Carl, or Burnin' Rubber 50, we can still find his page, of course hidden and banned because of his gooper insolence. His page looks the same regardless of if it's been banned or not, and it seems that as he's been making changes for the holidays, he's mucked up some of the elements on his page.
Update, December 25th, Christmas. Christmas is not like it used to be. Without Lisa's cooking and Sunday school kids, I didn't even get the damn tree out because what's the point? No one looks at it but me. I can't find 2 of the branches either. They're probably in the shed in a box, but it smells like mildew in there. I'll be doing New Year's in Hypnospace. Meet up with me.
Well, perhaps now that he's banned, he can at least do what he must to salvage his Christmas plans. Mavis also has a shout out to somebody named Margaret.
Margaret? Well, there's no Margaret.
Well, moving on, we have Arlen's Noble Warlock Studio. The biggest thing to note is the new line of animated smileys.
New page, Noble Smileys. They're zany, they're wacky, and they're free. Get Arlen's new Noble Smileys and put them on your page. Please credit me, Arlen, for Obi if you put them on your page.
Now this is throwback.
Oh my gosh, no way!
We have Clappy Jack, Giggly Emily, Cool Shades O'Toole, and What in the World Earl.
I love this. This is the best one, of course. No, this one's actually great. This one's great right there. Just terrorizing somebody with that.
Now, sadly, our Teamster lover boy Pete's Love Poems has been deleted. If you remember, his trial had ended, and it seems he let it lapse for too long. Brutal. Now, while there's no new pertinent info on Double R's ranch, Reginald does have an interesting take regarding the loosening up of the gumshoe copyright censorship.
Hypnospace, the people have spoken. Bokbos, all-American company. If you think Merchant Soft stopped attacking free speech because they had a change of heart, think again. Bokbos has a long history of being a huge successful company. If there's anything that scares Merchant Soft, it's an advertiser leaving. Pansies. We thank Bokbos for having the courage to stand on the right side of history. At a time when all allies betrayed us, Bokbos stood tall and right beside us. Thank you.
His page looks like shit now. Oh, poor guy. Let's look at a scam watch.
Up next on the Scam Watch is the IRS. Well, I'd be disappointed if our minarchistic cowboy didn't complain about taxes on his page. I'm surprised it took him this long.
The IRS, also known as the greedy thief arm of the federal government. This is one of the most subtle scams out there since you all seem so happy that they're stealing right out of your pocket. Our economy would be twice as strong if it wasn't for their thievery. It stunts innovation and competition and hurts business.
That's why you gotta get a good accountant, Reggie. Because Good Time Valley is still as dramatic and high-strung as always, it seems it's affected Sandy, our Floridian empty
Sandy's
nester.
status.
Let's give her page a gander.
This page is not a healthy place for me to be. I still love you all, but I have to take a break. Good on her. Good on her.
Good call, honestly. Now, her stop picking on Abby badge is blocking some text, so I'll do my best to fill in the blanks.
Hello, everybody. Due to some financial strains, as well as simply feeling as if I do not belong here anymore, I'm canceling my Hypnospace subscription. This page will remain up until February 20th. If you'd like to contact me, send me an email at mtnestsandy@usol.com. Hope you all have a Merry Christmas, and I'll forever treasure the time we had together here in Hypnospace.
We have another instance of this high-strung internal friction, this nothing burger drama, this gooper controversy that is this unnecessary hill to die on, at odds with this bonded community in Good Time Valley. And so one of its members, Sandy, jumps ship. Not exactly damnatio memoriae, but it still has that melancholy feel to it. I'm sure many of you can relate. A Discord flooded with gooners, a subreddit inundated with browbeating children, whinging about how problematic a fictional work's villain is, Twitter being flooded with engagement bait recycle slop. Where are we to go? Are we truly doomed to touch grass? After SMHing my head at another page shuttered by the free trial, we're taking to Terry's General Store.
New desktop sticks deal. It's hot.
It seems Arlen was able to help Terry get those pointing fingers off his page. That was nice of him. His old-fashioned sticker and background pack is totally clean.
Let's get it, why not?
Downloading.
Yes.
But believe it or not, he's still selling these virus-infected outdoor stickers. This might really just be an accident. I think what he's doing is finding stuff online or in other parts of Hypnospace and selling it as if it were his own on his page. This is why he doesn't exactly know about the intentions behind Terry's Scary Eye, the all-seeing eye software in his first Halloween sticker pack. But then again, those purple numbers seem to have the sole intention of tricking us into thinking that his sale buttons are clean. I don't know. The old-fashioned sticker and background pack is super cool. The wallpaper is just an empty floor, which is a great canvas for placing stickers, decorating it like it's a toy room. I'm reminded of the desktop game, Soup Toys. Remember that?
I really like this. I like how this is coming out.
Up next is Cool Punk Paradise, but instead of Freezer's song playing, we have a Seepage song playing. Back Against the Wall. We'll vibe to that song soon enough. But first, let's read the new updated introduction to... Oh, hold on. It's not called Cool Punk Paradise. This is the venue.
Cool Punk Paradise is now the venue. Hey there out there, Cool Punks. In the year that Cool Punk Paradise was active, we were constantly blown away by your creativity. After some consideration, we've decided to open up Cool Punk Paradise to a broader audience of creative young people. Of course, Cool Punks are still welcome. This is just the next step in a long journey we're taking together.
Interesting. So this was the plan all along. Corral all music tastes into a single zone, instead of dedicated zones for each genre. And it seems the venue has gotten a new sponsor, Earmint for ear and mouth. The first page is open mic at the venue. Evidently, this is what the dumpster was talking about.
DJ Earmint here with a song submitted by one of our awesome community members, Tamara Snow, with her tune Red Moons. Great job on your song, Tamara. Click here to hear it.
They tell me it's a blue moon.
Oh yeah, this is a good one.
Jezzo has scoured Hypnospace to feature somebody odd or cringy, but posed this feature as a purely positive shoutout. Which, you know, he kind of dropped the ball here. Tamara is nothing short of perfect. You know, like as a poet. You can also download a real sweet treat, a sort of promotional package to promote Seepage's new single, Against the Wall.
Ooh, a visual theme? Oh, heck yeah. Oh, heck yeah.
This includes a sweet Seepage desktop theme and a music video.
Hey Enforcer, be a good little Seephead and watch this preview of the music vid for our new single, Against the Wall. Dude, this is gonna be flippin' sick.
I'm not gonna do a dance segment. I want the music video to speak for itself.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, this is sick. Dude, how did they nailed it. Was that a butterfly? Of course there's gonna be a butterfly. Yup. No way. No flipping way.
So good. I've already monologued about how this band and its song, created for this game released in 2019, is such a perfect time capsule of that era. So I'll just say, bravo.
Again with the system. The system.
And now let's install this new desktop theme.
Oh, heck yeah. This is sick. I like this. This is probably my favorite theme out of all of them. Dude, green and purple are the worst combination ever, but I love it. It's like a dinosaur.
Up next, we got X Neo IC's new page.
Hall of the Lost Kids by X Neo ICX. Why? Update December 21st, 1999. No longer now. Okay, wait.
Pizza Styler? I have a feeling this has something to do with the pizza dance.
Okay, fine. Cool Punk is dead, but Pizza Style is alive though. Update December 21st, 1999. No longer lost. I'm now a pizza styler. Check out my new label.
I see. So his new label is no longer the Snow Joke Collective, but simply the Pizza Style Collective. Scrolling down, we can see the Dr. Pizza logos. So this is indeed some sort of ironic brand-adjacent genre, just like Cool Punk. But now instead of Chill It Right, it's just pizza. The section where he features pizza-style songs is called the Pizza Opera. Fantastic. He has 3 songs under his subspecies. The first song is Buttery Crust Enigma. Okay, so one of the key ingredients is, of course, the sample of the kid saying pizza. Next is Pizza Bis. Okay, now I'm identifying an additional ingredient, these accordion-sounding instruments, very funicula coded. The next song is simply pizza. Now this one's more subtle, and the actual pizza samples don't actually kick in until way later. Am I really going to put pizza style on my whiteboard? I mean, it looks pretty good though, huh? One more thing, we can read some of X-Neo-IC's thoughts on the state of cool punk. This excerpt was written likely long before he became a bona fide pizza styler.
Welcome to the Hall of the Lost Kids. Hypnospace tag Lost Kids. Again, let me check that out real quick. It's just him. We are lost. It saddens me that some of my closest friends and allies would throw away what we created over the last year just because of one little technical mishap. But I've come to terms with it and have moved on. I still love cool punk and what it stood for, and no one will convince me otherwise, except a nice big pizza, it seems. We've detached from Gray's Peak. Joman is gone. Freezer has, rightfully, abandoned us. What now? We're adrift. What is our anchor? Which way is up? Why do we continue?
Up next would have been Freezy Chica, but it seems her page has been deleted. I don't recall her having a free trial, so she must have deleted it on her own. Maybe some sort of Y2K or beef brain scare. Now, we've got Cold Snap. I wonder what he's been up to.
Open mic is so stupid, and the venue is a dumb name. There's nothing good on here. I'm going to Cyberworld soon. I am no longer cool punk. So what is next? I propose something new. Get rid of the punk and we can just be cool. The zeros are numbers. We are reborn.
It seems Cold Snap has gutted his page and is redirecting people to a Hypnospace tag just cool, with zeros instead of O's. And just like with the Lost Kids movement, this one is also barren, its only contributor being its creator.
Cool is not cool punk. Cool is not fake. Cool is real. Cool rules. Cool rule 1. Cool is 128 pixels high. Cool rule 2. Cold Snap makes the rules. You're just a cool cyclone. That is pretty cool.
Now this is brutal. A tight-knit, bonded community of cool punk fans, broken apart because of disagreements regarding drama. Just that little bit of friction, another man's mistakes, and suddenly everybody forsakes what made their time on Hypnospace truly special. Again, this isn't necessarily memories forgotten, but it's memories that could have been, forever being barred, because of that friction. I wonder if he still partakes in gatekeeping the cool punk genre.
Because I'm not cool punk anymore, I have removed my unlisted fake cool punk page. Sorry. Chit-chat me or message me if you want to join in on Just Cool, my new movement born from the wreckage of cool punk.
Yep, his fake cool punk page is officially defunct. Well, I would consider that to be a good improvement. The stuff he posted there was pretty brutal, especially his celebration of the Chowdercopter carnage. Speaking of which, the Coolfest 99 page is officially abandoned, with no plans for a Coolfest 2000. Up next no way.
Drip Boy's Pizza Hole. Fungus Scene is awesome. Check out my single In the Cavern. Pizza Den seems like it's for kids, but it's ironic, so it really is for like 16 to 25-year-old. My types of music. Fungus Scene, Pizza Style, new edit though. Fungus Pizza, a new kind, I just made it up. And not cool punk. Oh, this is pretty sick. I like this.
At the bottom of his page, we have a scan of something called an oid. Again, this is a shorthand for Polaroid.
Here's an oid from when I was little. That's my dad. We were camping in Germany when this was taken. Fun trip. I would love to return there someday. That's awesome, man. Good kid. Good kid.
Godspeed, Drip Boy. Up next is a new page, the sponsor of the venue, Ear Mint Gum.
Gum for ear and mouth. Pop your social life, not your ears. Earmint and Seepitch are hitting the road in January. Check back soon for tour dates.
I'm not sure if this status is indicating that Earmint is also a band, or it's just the brand itself is sponsoring Seepage and thusly touring with them. I think it's most likely the latter.
Picture this. Your favorite band is bringing down the house. You have VIP tickets to hang out with them after the show. But wait, you just ate one of Grandpa's famous bucket of garlic shrimp stew, and your breath smells gnarlier than an unlabeled container in the back of the fridge. Hey, we've been there. Thankfully, it doesn't have to be this way. Just grab a pack of ear mint gum and earplugs anywhere fine breath freshening chewables are sold.
I see, so they're earplugs that you can then pop out and chew like gum. Nasty. Even nastier if you do it the other way around. There's nothing else of note on this page except the hidden link at the very bottom that downloads that Seepage Experience launcher with the music video and desktop theme. Up next is Freezer. It looks like he's taking a small break.
Hey guys, I know you're a little mad at me still, but I'm still all about my fans. Chit-chat me for some Cool Fest merch. You only pay shipping. Cool, he's going through a little bit of a redemption arc.
Oh wow, it's pretty cool of him. He went from charging for autographs to now sending it out for free. Just pay shipping. I wonder where Jan Wolf and Freezer proper will go from here. We check in on Grace Peak Cola.
The Cuff Johnson Memorial Benefit was beautiful. We gave each attendee a Cool Fest 99 shirt. Grab a Graze. Colder than the rest, Grace Peak. Grace Peak.
And then we come across, oh great, another genre, Inspiro Haze.
Well, this is interesting. Inspiro Haze. Oh, hey, Cool Punk Shaman's back. Heck yeah. Encourage, inspire. Join the Inspiro Haze movement to uplift and be uplifted.
My back's against the wall.
Tina Price's status. Check out Inspiro Haze for a dose of healing.
So it's just motivationally themed music. I'm reminded of Hannah Diamond's affirmations.
That sounds like music I would hear in the courtyard walking around Kingdom Hearts.
Oh, okay, for sure. Yeah, totally. That sounds like fucking RPG music. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sounds like I'm just like at Peter Pan Land, like looking for something and then fighting some Heartless with my new Keyblade.
Inspiro Haze. Inspire, encourage, inspire, encourage, inspire, encourage through love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, gentleness, loyalty. A creative movement based on the understanding that each person, yes, you too, is valuable, worth loving, worth knowing, by just being you. Kindness is power. And self-restraint right up there, I forgot to mention that. I think one of the most important ones. They have an F list. Hey, nice.
Good job on the promotion. I knew you could do it.
What even is haze anymore? Like, okay, it started off as like a suffix that describes a specific music tradition. It broadened a little bit, and then it broadened to the point where it sort of, I guess it kind of meant like this sounds like this. So like, it's not that dirt haze sounds like haze. Haze just simply means it sounds like dirt. Hade is code word for sounds like. Dirt sounds like. Dark sounds like. Sparkle. Okay, we cracked the code. It has nothing to do with blown out guitars. It's just core. Coded. Very queer coded. Very cottage core. Why don't we just come up with our own? Dunstan. Fuck it. You can't stop me. Nice striped shirt and top hat. Very Seuss Dunstan. Nice skirt. Very Amy Rose Dunstan. Fuck it. You can't stop me. Up next is Slushmouth. Yippee!
Eduardo's assumed status. Took long enough. Glad that Merchant Soft are listening and ditched the incredibly tired Cool Punk thing. The venue is a good name. As of December 1st, I am not taking new genre requests. You are all completely mad. No, I will not add pizza dance style, gooper beat, or cool. I quit. But he does have Inspiro Haze. It's haze, I guess, but with occasional samples of people cheering you on and saying, "Way to go!" I don't know why it exists, and only added it because Cool Punk Shaman keeps pestering me, and she's a good person.
Okay, so I clocked the genre correctly, just motivational music. Now, Slushmouth says here that he quit, but before quitting, he made this page for another genre, difficult.
Difficult. Look, I'm not one to gush. Ever. But Difficulty Boy's music gives me goosebumps. I can feel it in my bones. The texture, the energy, the effects, what's going on here?
whitey, white, 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 white.
Whitey, whitey, whitey. I can feel it in my bones. The texture, the energy, the effects, the rawness. That moment when the beat cuts out and a single lyric is spoken via text-to-speech. Unprecedented, astounding, electrifying. Do yourself and favor and track down his EP. It's difficult to find, no pun intended, but if you know where to look, you'll find it.
I like it. I don't know, it's like Hollywood Undead mixed with 100 Gex.
All right, what are you thinking? What are you thinking?
All right, I'm gonna do another sacred name. So here comes the comments.
Yeah.
This sounds like The Garden.
Oh no, you always talk about The Garden with me. No, come on, man.
So it's this new genre of music that they apparently invented called Vada Vada. To me, it's just a mixture of like breakbeats, punk rock, just avant-garde, like crazy music. You know, you'll have guys just singing a verse. This song kind of reminds me of one of their songs. Dun, dun. This Place Could Build a Home, I think it's called. And it just goes into like a verse, very chill, and then double time, and then crazy, everyone's moshing, and then it goes back.
Before nailing this incredible, unique, visceral style, he made music under the name Unicorn Company that is also worth a listen. I want to see if I can find that. That's interesting. Unicorn Company. Let's go ahead and look around, see if we can find this shit. Let's look at his page. See, I think maybe he has it up here. Oh, yes, he has it. Okay.
Downloading difficulty boy _, yet I am bleeding.
Bleeding.
First up is I'm Bleeding by Difficulty Boy.
Oh, yeah, it's gonna drop. It better drop. Yeah. Oh, that's pretty sick. Oh, yeah, that's sick.
Yeah, it sounds like something you'd hear at an EDM festival.
Bro, there's so many freaking verbal fixations I've picked up from this game. Drink it right. Whitey.
Up next is Unicorn Company, Difficulty Boy's old moniker.
Alakazastor piece. Not bad. Nice. I like that.
Ooh, nice. Talk about musical range. From something pleasant like this to something nutty like Difficulty Boy. Up next, Bewilderbeast.
Bewilderbeast. Ooh, it's kind of housey. Ooh, yeah. That's some good stuff.
Ooh, this one sounds like hitting a vape in the back of my buddy's WRX on our way to Rolling Heights to get slurping ramen. I like this one. I like it so much that I start to jam a melody with it.
What about Zlot?
Music file added to Tunebox library.
Zalot kind of just sounds like keygen music, but it does suddenly change.
That's sick. We could be here all day. That's pretty sick. Yeah, I like that. That's actually cool. Slush Mouth, you have good taste.
Very cool. I'll go ahead and chart the difficult genre on our whiteboard. Difficulty Boy will be our prime example, and I'll go ahead and throw Unicorn Company on there as well, even though it doesn't really sound like difficult music. If I were to guess, though, it's giving... New Digital Dunstan. You can't stop me. All right, Slushy. Happy retirement. Next up is a page from Cold Snap's alt account.
New teenage trend, cool punk, by Cold Snap 2. If your kid is showing signs of being a cool punk, please just push them off a bridge. Okay, buddy, really? This is my bad boy account. Has your kid did any of these symptoms? Following the crowd and being a mindless poseur? Liking things that haven't been cool for 1 month? Listening to a 40-year-old drunk who crashes helicopters? Making HSM songs that sound like farts and suck? Lip singing? If you answered yes, your kid might be a cool punk. Get them help right away by showing them how to listen to real music and not be a waste of human life. Okay. Wow. Holy mother of God. Cool punk crowd surfing. Ladies and gentlemen, the chowder cropter. Oh my gosh. Whoa, this is so awesome. Help, I got Dead Idiot on me. Best Chowder Man concert ever.
Huh. It seems he hasn't learned. I clear out the rest of the page and move on to something nicer. The Peacelands. Cool Punk Shaman is back. After all, it was she who started that Inspiro Haze page. Oh, but she's still on hiatus regarding her mediation services. And on second look, it seems that she was the one who started Inspiro Haze as a whole, not just the page. Well, chuck one hobby and pick up another. Godspeed, Shaman. You may have noticed I almost missed Father Fungus's page. Looping back, we entered the cavern to look for anything new, and it seems that Father Fungus has cleaned up all of Drip Boy's spamming. And here's what's cool. At the bottom of Drip Boy's Mushroom Hop page, we can find a new whirlpool, which takes us to a mind-bendy page. It's almost as if we scroll down and we end up on the other side of a patch of mushrooms. Here we can read the lyrics to one of Basidia's songs. It seems to be some sort of self-commentary. The artist we now know to be the original Freezer is having doubts about being able to move forward creatively on his own. He's a reasonable guy, he's talented, but something's different these days.
There's definitely something here. It kind of reminds me a little bit of Chowderman's longing for former glory. But in the case of Father Fungus, of course the artist that we know was the original Freezer, it seems he's worried that he won't be able to create this grand cultural movement on his own again. We keep coming back to this theme of, can I do it on my own? Am I alone enough to do that all over again? In a similar way, it seems he's not aware of or trying to come to terms with the fact that while yes, he was that first mover that started Cool Punk, what made it fun, what made it great was not him alone. It was all the people who contributed to that cultural movement, and sadly, it's now all desolate.
Well, no man's an island. Or a cavern for that matter. With the venue scoured, let's move on over to Starport Castle Dream Station.
Your pages, your world. Hypnospace 2.0's Land of Mythia is an inventive new way to navigate your community. Instead of a list of pages, as in other zones, Lands of Mythia citizens will be able to place their public pages on a detailed interactive map. More information coming soon.
Brutal. So they're stealing the idea for the Freelands.
Oops, we admit it, we goofed up. We're doing our best to recover all the lost files. Sit tight, dreamers. We're on it.
Oh, it's completely shit. There's still nothing here.
The Starport zone is absolutely desolate. Something tells me people have migrated over to Cyberworlds. The only page on here of note is Tamara's new fantasy page. I love this woman. Just innocent, naive, polluting of the internet. When we try to enter the Freelands...
The Freelands have been hacked by a loser who doesn't have a real life. We'll try to get things back on ASAP. Strange.
Yep, it's totally shut. Too bad. Then again, we could just search up Freelands. Ah, bingo. It looks like Merchantsoft has expropriated the Freelands and is in the midst of renovations. However, Reckoning apparently has vandalized it.
The Freelands are closed. Come see us in Cyberworlds.
Perhaps in making it unusable, he can get people to stop using Hypnospace and be safe from Timigeddon's mind crash. There's nothing of note in Gil's page, however, this is Sarah's status.
Jeez. Sarah Sanders. Just got back from CyberCog Cogulus Collectio. And it was fine, but I am not going on another road trip with my husband.
That must have been awkward. Hopefully the ride wasn't as tumultuous as Coolfest. She also has some new reviews. She reviews that TV show Double Witness, saying that while she doesn't think it will ever make sense, she still loves it, describing it as a crime drama where a small town's teenage mayor is found dead in a giant bag of broccoli. Damn, now I wish we knew more about the show. Maybe in Hypnospace's sequel. She also fondly reviews Chowderman's new album, Please Come Back Home, apparently being misty-eyed when she first heard it. And, oh god, game review. The attempt to drive 10,000 miles while your husband freaks out every time you pass a large truck. Jeez, so she had to do a cross-country road trip with her high-strung passenger princess husband. Brutal. She says, not fun, but better than the do all the housework eternally while your husband does nothing game. Gil's on thin ice, it seems. Aside from a funny little call for help on Casper's plot, there's nothing new on his page.
Sorry about breaking the text rule, but Gil, can you check this out? My plot looks horrible. From Casper.
He must have run for the hills to Cyberworlds. The Observer has a new article covering a new Cataclysm game, however, he doesn't like it. It's called Cataclysm Micro Trooper, where you evidently play as a miniature soldier and shoot up evil toys in a children's room. I don't know what the OG Cataclysm was like, but if it were a violent boomer shooter like Doom, then yeah, I could see how this would be disappointing. I guess we gotta keep our fingers crossed for Chosen to be good. Or, if we hold out long enough, there is a shooter that one of Hypnospace's denizens will be working on.
The S-Blade has a hack blood charge.
This pistol doesn't have a thermal clip.
But that's a story for a different day. Now, Roddy's plot is totally messed up. The accelerator icon is large and spinny, and his page hasn't been updated. Perhaps Roddy is hard at work hammering out these Y2K bugs.
I'm not sure if I'll be staying around Hypnospace now that my ties to Merchantsoft are strained. It's really my fault. I chose this. But I do owe it to you guys and Dylan to finish what I helped start. So log on January 1st, 2000 for Dylan and my new Hypno-S game.
Huh. So he's helping with Outlaw. Great. We carefully maneuver to Gary's Cybercog page. His status indicates that while the Cybercog con was a success, he regrets causing some sort of disagreement. I wonder if it had something to do with Gil. And this may be the case because he's removed his Cybercog resource page, the page where he shouted out his various friends on the Freelands. Sad stuff. This is another angle. Bonds being broken because of IRL disagreements. Sometimes your internet friends should stay just that. Again, we carefully maneuver through the Freelands to find Linda's library.
Linda Stevens status. Hope you all had a lovely Christmas or Hanukkah. I did. A little sad with my parents getting older, though. Player escaped the chopping mall scary. It's up right now.
Sorry about your folks, Linda. Let's go ahead and check out the chopping mall scary. We briefly read about this when reading through Tiff's FLST notes. From what I can gather, this is a collab with Linda, Tiff, and the music has been provided by none other than Slushmouth himself. The game is a point-and-click adventure where you must carefully navigate a killer mall. The main attraction are all the silly death animations. Here is a killer puddle.
You look delicious.
A killer blender.
Plenty hungry. Eat plenty now or else you'll be plenty food.
A killer fern.
You thought I was a nice plant, but I'm gonna plant your head between my teeth.
A killer $5 bill.
I'm going to emancipate you from your life.
Killer jeans.
This America, you try and put me on that butt, I'll slice that hand right off.
A killer stapler.
Stapler, I'm just hungry.
A killer hot dog. Oh God! In the name of Bupus, what the fuck are you? And a killer hamburger. I wanted to show all those because it reminds me of a very specific time in my childhood. Damn it, again, I wish I wasn't a stupid kid and put personal information on this specific Flash website. But holy shit, I made little goofy stuff like this back in 6th grade. There's something just so familiar about the whispery way Linda voices these lines. Now, if we grab the one hot dog that isn't twitching and feed it to the blender, it gives us this code.
Hey, thanks, pal. How did you know blending like hot dog? By the way, that lock combination is 1983. See ya.
We must then grab the grenade next to the blender and punch in the code on some locked shutters. Now, check this out.
Look at this, look at this. That's so cool.
I guess I can get out to your belly, but no, I guess I'm the one who sucks.
We simply must frag the vacuum and escape the chopping mall.
You escaped the chopping mall. Now you're at the beach. Nothing ever goes wrong at the beach. Or does it? That's such a cool way to freaking send it off, man.
Carefully moving through, we find the spot where Kev J's plot was repossessed, and then find Phaedrala's page.
Oh, Jesus. Marjorie Paulson status. Slurp? That's the last of the vampire blood. Come adopt a dragon on my adoption page. Ooh, they got a realistic Grey Dallas. Type, green, real. Just 1 year older than the regular normal Grey Dallas. Likes eating normal eggs instead of big eggs. Flying with wings instead of magic. Drinking water or milk. Giving short rides with dragon saddle. And courting female dragons of the same species.
Downloading Dragon Grey Dallas Real.
Let's see what new potions she has. Blue Cupid Fairy Romance Elixir. This elixir is made from the milk of nursing okay. Blue Cupid Fairy. Okay, great. Milk of a woman. We're just gonna go straight up milk of the woman.
If memory serves me right, these new potions weren't on the previous shift's page. She still seems to be fixated on nursing-adjacent themes. I search up the Wizard Eagle's page and we find that he's closed up shop with his new blurb.
I will not be made to purchase. Goodbye.
While we're here, let's look up the rest of the pages tagged with NSDP.
It's true. Connor's Connections is closing. The community is dried up and there's no point continuing. I'll see everyone back on NetSuddler.
Brutal! I loved Connie. What an effing blow. Connie was genuinely one of the best first stops when picking this game up. She was such a great source for lore and hints, a crossroad that connected all Hypnospace communities. Merchantsoft, you lost a good customer. Nothing new on the Chosen game page, but Asher has updated his depreciated NetSettler page to HypnoS, and yet his page is still unlisted from Cool Punk Paradise. Well, I'm glad he's sticking around. Aside from him releasing his page music for download, there's not much else here. Over on the Double Witness fan page, we can find some new episode synopses for Double Witness.
In this episode, visionary showrunner Stephen Larise talks directly to the camera for an hour about the immorality of modern music, dancing, and the television industry that spurned his genius for years. This is interposed with lengthy scenes of the giant Thumb facing divorce from his wife and slowly drinking from a glass of whiskey while staring at a broom, or superimposed on a broccoli stalk.
That's both hilarious and disappointing. Mind you, this was long before streaming. People waited weeks for these new episodes.
Season 1, Episode 6. 5 months later, the town of Little Tree has been transformed and rebranded as simply Tree. Derek Both Barrels Jones is retired from the FBI so he can achieve his mission the right way, bringing Mayor Sally Winkleman's corpse all the way to Portugal through a portal in Pike's beachside cavern so that she can be reborn. The gang set out to stop him, including the President of the United States and the First Lady, Cindy Applesmith? In this very special episode, Double Witness tackles the dangers of littering and its impact upon the environment.
Now it's starting to feel like Twin Peaks mixed with Hylix. Mainly the David Lynch aspect, not so much the Mark Frost aspect. In the theory section, page owner Cybersofa Slug talks about how Cyberworlds has a special Dreamtown world. Dreamtown is a reference to the show, and in this Cyberworld zone, in their space it's called World, Cyberworld has a zone where you can freely discuss Double Witness. Now, instead of this tempting Sofa Slug to jump ship, they're actually relieved that there isn't something similar on Hypnospace to compete with their fan page. Sofa Slug also wonders if Double Witness was just one elaborate ad for Cyberworlds, or the dream networking industry at large. In the citizen submission, Sarah Sanders decries Larissa's pretentious monologuing, and Linda is getting floppy with it, wondering if the nickname Both Barrels indicates the detective protagonist's fate, saying that because he plans to take Sally's body to Niagara Falls, he must be planning to go over the falls in 2 barrels. Apparently this was an actual thing. People would barrel ride over Niagara Falls. Very cool. I like the cut of Linda's mustard. There's definitely an incomplete picture here. Let's see what we can gather from this TV show by using all 3 shifts, episode guides, and now that we're on our 3rd shift, the full-blown character bio breakdown. First, let's get the character breakdown of FBI agent Derek Both Barrel Jones.
With the Bureau for 10 years after a brief stint in the Air Force, the NYPD, and the SAS, Jones' life was forever changed after contact with a man he believed to have been his future self. Jones was told that one day he would die and be reborn in a glorious new form, utterly free of sin, prejudice, and dandruff. Jones awaits that day with his trademark wit, detective work, and medicated shampoo.
So a standard detective protagonist. However, based on the latest episode guide, it seems he's become a bit of an antagonist. Huh, the dandruff is an odd touch. I think I'm missing something there. Otherwise, though, there's not much we can glean from his little character description. But given that we'll be comparing Double Witness to Twin Peaks, I think it's safe to say that Both Barrels is the Hypnospace Double Barrels version of Dale Cooper. I should say this now. Don't worry, we're not going to be doing any major spoilers for Twin Peaks. In fact, I think if you haven't seen this show, you might enjoy this a bit more. Hopefully our brief discussion of Double Witness will pique your interest. Up next is Mayor Sally Winkleman. Now to clarify, she's the mayor of Dreamtown, but in the waking real world of Double Witness, she's the victim of the centerpiece crime.
Homecoming queen, cheerleading coach, it was the next logical step to become mayor. Sally had it all. But after she's found suffocated in a bag of broccoli, the entire community realizes that no, she didn't have it all. Perhaps her glorious life was a bucolic smokescreen, hiding weeks of dramatic revelation and social commentary. Her digital representation is a hologram existing only in Dreamtown, training Agent Derek Both Barrels Jones in the art of cyber combat. Okay, I got something.
This is clearly a spitting image of the primary victim of Twin Peaks. Of course. Sally Winkleman is Laura Palmer. This happens literally in the first episode, so this isn't a spoiler. It's almost like saying Dexter is a murderer is a spoiler for Dexter. Don't worry, it's like a big part of the premise. In Twin Peaks, Laura Palmer from beyond the grave communicates with Dale Cooper through his dreams. She whispers a very, very key reveal about the nature of her murder. Again, she was murdered at the very beginning of the show. It's not a spoiler. And given the nature of dreams, when Dale Cooper wakes up, he doesn't remember what she told him. We kind of have a similar mimicry here in Double Witness, although it's a bit more, how would you say, less serious, less cerebral? I don't know how you would describe it. In this case, Mayor Sally Winkleman is teaching both Beryls cyber combat. And as it's also mentioned in Sally Winkleman's descriptor, we can also link her to Laura Palmer in that both of their lives can serve as commentary regarding the angst of youth, grave struggles. Again, I'll just leave it at that, but you'd have to watch Then Fire Walk with me after you see the show. Just watch Twin Peaks. Turn this off right now, watch Twin Peaks. I mean, I'll wait. Up next is Sheriff Ted Mitch McClane.
Sheriff Ted Mitch McClane served in Vietnam, but that was nothing compared to the death of 17-year-old Sally Winkleman. Driven to drink, drugs, and Dreamtown cage fights, Ted is a broken man, vulnerable to the very hackers who want him to kill the President of the United States. But first, did someone order donuts?
Gotcha. If you remember, there's that image of the sheriff being presented a black or shadowy broccoli. It's interesting. These hackers are somehow able to make people do their bidding in Dreamtown. In a way, they aren't really hacking, but possessing. I can't think of any concrete comparison to Twin Peaks. Honestly, this whole thing about cage fighting in Dreamtown kind of reminds me of Altered Carbon. So for now, I'll just create a tentative link between Sheriff Ted Mitch McClane and Sheriff Truman from Twin Peaks. Both are characters who go through arcs regarding how they tussle with tragedy in their respective shows. Although, from what I recall, Truman is a lot more honorable. It seems that in the case of Double Witness, Sheriff Ted is going straight into his sort of morally gray, rugged arc. Up next is Cindy Applesmith, the star singer and later First Lady of Double Witness.
1 year older than Sally and not dead, Cindy never seems to be enough for FBI agent Derek Both-Barrel Jones. After sneaking into his bed in the middle of Season 1, Episode 1's Mafia Triad shootout, he claimed he was too young for her, leading her to descend into a rabbit trail of occult South American travel destinations and cyber arms. A rabbit trail, huh? Like bunnies? Armed with ancient texts and a Dreamtown headset, Cindy will get the man of her dreams or fall prey to overdue library book charges, whatever comes first.
It wasn't mentioned in the episode guide, but apparently from this description, there was a Mafia Triad shootout in the feature-length first episode of Double Witness. I'm somewhat reminded of an intense casino stakeout that takes place in Twin Peaks. The morally dubious, unrequited love aspect is definitely reminiscent of a specific plot in Twin Peaks, a very specific character. However, I think that's a pretty substantial side plot and very integral to understanding the nitty-gritty of the main character, Dale Cooper. So I'd rather not risk spoiling it. Funny how they describe Cindy Applesmith. Ooh, Applesmith, apple juice. She spills apple juice onto the demonic text. Pretty cool. But yes, it's funny how Sofa Slug describes Cindy Applesmith's delving into the occult as a rabbit trail, which is, I think what they mean is a rabbit hole, but... Oh, yeah. No. Because rabbit hole kind of reminds you of Alice in Wonderland. This specific character has like these shoes that are reminiscent of Wizard of Oz. Two different things. Focus. All I'm trying to say is rabbit trail also could be referencing the bag of rabbits that were found alongside Sally Winkleman's corpse. A more substantial realization is, of course, her name Applesmith, the fact that she spills apple juice on demonic texts, unlocking those mythical singing skills. We'll definitely have to keep an eye out when we get into the theory crafting. And now, the giant thumb. Now this one's interesting.
Okay, Giant Thumb, played by himself. I think this is actually played by Larice, if I'm not mistaken. In a coma for 5 years, the Giant Thumb wakes up to discover that he has multiple genius children, the envy of the neighborhood. But adjusting to normal life, he begins to wonder if his wife, the sneaky Littlefinger, has been doing him dirty. Are the children all they seem? Why do they look more like toes than fingers? Does he even love himself enough to find out the truth?
Ah, that's clever. A thumb, a pinky, and 3 children. It's a hand. Of course, aside from this could be parodying Twin Peaks' subplot of dubious parentage, I won't say between which characters. And perhaps just parodying the overall theme of infidelity throughout that show, which was a parody of the soap operas at the time. It is interesting though, we got a giant thumb, a pinky wife, and 3 children of dubious parentage. the family forms a hand, which is why I'm reminded of the arm character in Twin Peaks. However, this hand will be referenced again. Up next is Agent Alonzo Danda.
Derek's straight-laced sidekick. Alonzo is a detective who does necessary detective things and not much else. Wonder if Donda means Dondaroof.
A bit dry. Alonzo Danda might just simply be a reference to Twin Peaks' Agent Rosenfield, my second favorite character from the show, number 1 being Laura Palmer. Rest in peace, Miguel Ferrer. And finally, Pike Handrahand.
We get this concept of the hand right here. Played by unknown. Not much is known about Pike. He's handsome, mysterious, probably evil, and only talks to Pike. I screwed up the recording for Pike's whiteboard segment, so we'll have to just pipe it in through post. So, Pike is uncredited in the show's initial run. He's mysterious, possibly evil, and he has a strange saying, Pike only talks to Pike. Well, this is just Bob. I'll just leave it at that. And you know, Pike kind of sounds like Pyre. Pyre, fire. Walk with me here for a second. Let's, damn it, I wish I could have done that bit in front of a whiteboard. Let's keep in mind this hand reference in Pike's name, Handrahand. It's an actual surname, mind you, but still, this can't be a coincidence. Could he somehow be linked to the thumb, pinky wife, and three-finger offspring?
With all those characters under our belt, let me go ahead and summarize the 6 episodes we have synopses of. Since we've already read through them, I'll be as concise as possible. So episode 1, Little Tree resident Sally Winkleman is found dead in a large bag of broccoli. According to theories we can read, the broccoli is fresh, perhaps left posthumously as a calling card. At the crime scene, a Dreamtown headset is found as well as a bag of rabbits. Based on the fact that her soul is still in Dreamtown, to me indicates that maybe she was wearing the Dreamtown visor when she was murdered. Her body died, and yet somehow her soul remained bound to the dreamscape. Now, what about the broccoli? Given that broccoli will later be seen used to possess Sheriff Ted Mitch McClane, to me indicates that broccoli is just a sort of symbol of misfortune. It's a yucky vegetable, so maybe it's just like a negative symbol, much like creamed corn in Twin Peaks. And then, the rabbits. Could just be a reference to Alice in Wonderland, or it could indicate to the viewer that we're about to go down a deep rabbit hole. However, if you recall, one theorizer pointed out that the rabbits remained in the bag at the site of the murder without mauling each other, without dying of starvation, or mating. That the implausibility of this detail could indicate that the town of Little Tree is not a real town, but is located in a dream world. In other words, these characters live inside a dream. Very, very Lynchian. During this episode, the thumb wakes up from a coma. In other words, wakes up from a long sleep. If you remember, some theorizers posited that the thumb was somehow responsible for Sally's death, that maybe in his coma he projected himself into Dreamtown and killed Sally. But I don't buy it. As we already gone over, he wakes to find that he somehow mysteriously fathered 3 children. Of course, we know that these children are not his, resembling toes rather than fingers. According to next episode's guide, it seems episode 1 left off on a big reveal. Both Barrels is contacted in Dreamtown by none other than the dead victim, Sally Winkleman. She's alive in the digital flesh, but her body is set to be buried beneath a giant statue of Portugal. Apparently she has a deep spiritual link to the country. Tempted by my floppiness, I went digging for some Portuguese folklore regarding dreams, and I couldn't really find anything. I found something about a Jaupastana, but I don't think that's anything we can glean from regarding double witness. I think this deep spiritual linking to Portugal might just be a silly reference to Dale Cooper's deep spiritual linking to Tibet. In this episode, the young females of Little Tree try and seduce both Barrels. I'm assuming Cindy Applesmith is among them. But both Barrels has eyes for the holographic soul of 17-year-old Sally Winkleman. So this has gone from a whodunit to a did-he-do-it. Meanwhile, somewhere in this episode, it's revealed that the 3 children were sired from a home-wrecking toe. Might as well chart out the 3 thumb children as characters. In episode 3, Cindy Applesmith follows a mysterious call to a beachside cavern. She falls unconscious after she faces Pike Handrahand, with him uttering his catchphrase, "Pike only speaks to Pike." Given that his surname is Handrahand, I thought maybe this is like a funny way of him saying, "talk to the hand." But he tapes a picture of his face to her forehead, so perhaps, since he can only speak to Pike, now that she bears his face, he can speak to her. And it seems he does so, for when she wakes up and spills some apple juice on some ancient demonic texts, she's given a beautiful singing voice, and later in the episode even organizes a concert. This plot is moving oddly fast. Perhaps this singing boon comes from Pike, a sort of Faustian deal with the devil. What's fascinating is that Sofa Slug theorizes that we should look to the apple juice for a hint. Perhaps in the episode, the spillage of apple juice forms around specific words in the demonic text, spelling something out. Now, she sticks this theory on top of her theory that the Thumb Kids are the ones hacking people's minds, so maybe something in those texts confirms that theory. Not sure, they could be two completely separate hints. Speaking of which, in the same episode, hackers have programmed Sheriff McClane to become evil, evidently through this shadowy or black stalk of broccoli. At the end of the episode, it's revealed that both Barrels is getting engaged, I'm assuming to Sally Winkleman. All that we can read on episode 4's guide is that a bomb is set to go off at Cindy Applesmith's impromptu concert. The episode centers around both Barrels trying to find a sleep aid called Dream Treats to finally fall asleep and disarm the bomb. Evidently, this concert is taking place in Dreamtown. Whether or not the episode concludes in victory or failure is unknown, because episode 5 consists of the showrunner, Stephen Larise, talking directly to the camera, snoping and freezing about modern music, dancing in the TV industry, interposed with footage of the giant thumb and his little finger wife going through a divorce, occasionally showing him staring at a broom or superimposed on a broccoli. I just noticed something kind of neat. So in my little whiteboard art, I wanted to do the divorce papers, and as a little cheeky thing, the signature would be the thumbprint. And then in drawing the thumbprint, I kind of realized, well, yeah, it's kind of like, well, depending on, what thumbprint you've got, it kind of looks a little bit like a spiral. Like a hypnosis spiral. Maybe that's why there's all this stuff about hands. Each finger is a spiral. But that's super floppy. What's not so floppy, of course, is we have some more solid symbolism of broccoli being associated with pain, misfortune, perhaps evil. It's found alongside the site of a murder. It's found alongside the possession of innocent or broken characters. And it's found alongside a divorce. Some more tragedy. Maybe it's sort of playing off the idea that, broccoli is a yucky kind of vegetable, and so it's just sort of a cheeky symbol of misfortune. Again, a lot like creamed corn in Twin Peaks. And I don't know for certain why David Lynch goes for creamed corn. It could even be Frost that made that decision. And maybe it's a childhood food that either one of the showrunners didn't like. However, if I wanted to get really floppy, in one particularly interpretive episode of Twin Peaks The Return, there is a nuclear mushroom cloud that's seen. And in a way, the broccoli kind of looks like a mushroom cloud, even more so than a mushroom, frankly. But that's just me getting floppy with it. Seriously, watch Twin Peaks. And finally, episode 6, we skip 5 whole months into the future and have a full heel turn of both Barrels, attempting to achieve his mission. I'm assuming to revive and then marry the underage digital wraith of Sally by taking her corpse through a portal in Pike's Cavern to Portugal. All the various characters of the show unite to stop both Barrels. I recall one theorizer talking about how Barrels himself is being hacked and possessed by the Three Thumb Kids. Maybe within that 5 months that's passed, both Barrels has become fully possessed. That we're not seeing the heel turn of both Barrels, but a possessed both Barrels. Reminding me of a cliffhanger at the finale of Twin Peaks Season 2, one we wouldn't get a continuation of until 25 years later, when Twin Peaks The Return was released. I'll stop right there. Double Witness is essentially a parody of Twin Peaks, a show that was released in the early 90s, but of course here in Hypnospace, it's the late 90s. There's a few aspects to Double Witness that are pretty key. There's a nonsensical nature to it. The plot moves forward in strange atemporal ways, not only through time, but also kind of through space as well. And on top of all of that, this is all being framed within the unfictional plot of Hypnospace Outlaw. I think this all points to the possibility that Double Witness, or the town of Little Tree specifically, is in a dream world. Everything takes place in a dream. Like Twin Peaks itself was sort of this kind of a love letter, but also a plot-based critique of, I think, like very good old times-based soap operas and shows of that time. Very serialized, but also kind of shallow. I think what we can tie into our larger sort of analysis of Hypnospace Outlaw is perhaps comparing the way we recall dream to how we recall the past. When you wake up, the memory of the dream is constantly fading. Your memory of the past, nostalgia, is constantly fading, being warped. We put it in these rose-tinted framings to help preserve it. To prevent myself from rambling any further, I think at its core that's what not only Hypnospace Outlaw is all about, but I think the tragedy of sort of a dying internet, dying memories, nostalgia. The common thread is the fleeting nature of it. Much like our memory of a dream when we first wake up. It's ephemeral. Before you even realize it's fading, it's already halfway slipped through your fingers. I think I'm doing a poor job at converting these ideas into words, so just, if you're picking up on the essence of what I'm alluding to here, keep that in mind. How do you like the characters? They're all kind of inspired from different Hypnospace characters. Obviously, you got Zane, Chowderman, you've got Corey, the Smolder Boulder Toe kids. If you're wondering who the hell this would be either Jennifer or Stephanie, whoever the girlfriend of Zane is in his comic series. And of course, we have Dark Twilight Tiff as mere Sally Winkleman. Who else are we missing? Oh, of course, Tim Mageddon as Pike Handrahan, the little shit. There's nothing new on Renderman's page, but on Future Recycler's page, we find out that the squatter is finally out.
Melted snowman, where did you go, man? Into the swatter, into the swatter. Oh, fuck you, Hypnospace. Look, attention, look. Future Recycler products are not outsider art and are backed up by real science and deep personal conviction. Thank you.
Now all we have left before we close this shift in Teentopia is to visit Open-Eyed. Let's see how this Y2K update has affected the New Age conspiratorial zone. The header of this zone features that free SGC soundscape pack, Virtual Shaman. This is the one that was made by Jezzo.
New Virtual Shaman. Let it connect you to the spirit world. At Merchantsoft, we love to highlight the unique abilities of our personnel. As it turns out, one of our interns is a bona fide shaman. Enjoy this guided journey to the spirit world, voiced by Jezzo the intern. Of course, Jezzo.
We'll make sure to pick that up later. First off is Lookout Ministries. According to his status, he's looking forward to the release of Chosen, and on his page he's got some words on the coming, or I guess now past, Y2K catastrophe.
This is not a joke. The year 2000 meltdown is coming, and you need to make sure your loved ones are safe, but not for the reasons they tell you on TV. Yes, a something is on the way. Yes, it is going to change everything. Yes, the world will never be the same, but it's not a glitch that will actually change the world, for that is only a deceitful distraction. Pay attention to what I'm about to say. On New Year's Eve 2000, world leaders have planned a meeting. They will be getting together behind closed doors. They know you are distracted by the year 2000 glitch, and they know you won't be paying attention.
He goes on to cite the Bible, informing us to be more wary of the beast rather than a Y2K glitch. I'll give him credit. He seems to not frame it so much in an end-of-the-world way like many did. He's keen enough to point out that the world as we knew it was ending, but not in like a nukes flying and planes falling manner that many thought. Of course, this is in his end times preacher framing. What are your thoughts? I can point to two moments in modern history that seemed to set a new overtone for humanity. The year 2000 and the year 2020. But was it really the year that marked the change? Maybe it was changes in how technology affected our day-to-day life, our economy, our culture. I mean, off the top of my head, the smartphone strikes me as one of those centerpiece inventions of this new millennium, but I feel like those ingredients have been simmering long before, even since the mid-90s, cell phone technology, Palm Pilots, and stuff like that. And come to think of it, you can say the same thing about 2020. Pandemic or not, 2020 pattern aside, something tells me that tech giants, bureaucrats, and movers and shakers are already long planning this techno-feudalistic world we live in today. Was it really 2020 that started the fire? Or has it always been burning since the world's been turning? Now we can find something very neat in Gus's Temple of Serenity.
Sherry, if you see this, look in the new portal.
That's right. There was that third portal he was working on in his tower. The one that was for Sherry with a little heart.
Sherry, will you marry me? Oh my gosh. Well, okay, now it's just cute. Goodness gracious. Portal of Finality, end. This is pretty sick.
This is the Temple of Finality. How sweet. Well, if we had banned Sherry in our previous shift, Gus's page would look like this.
They banned her from Hypnospace? I don't understand. I'm destroyed. I'm utterly alone. New realm in Serenity Tower. It is my final. December 22nd.
And his portal dedicated to Sherry?
You are lost to me, my love. Please. Where have you gone? I need your phone. Please. Why?
You know, as absurd as this is, there is something very sad about this, even beyond romance. A suffocating melancholy of losing touch with somebody that you meet online. I remember when I was in the 8th grade, I was playing Borderlands 1 with this guy on Xbox Live, and he was cool as hell. Hey, you know, on the off chance, if you remember playing Borderlands with an I'm Booted fool and you went by the gamer tag, something like XXGERPXX, hit me up, let me know how you're doing. But I digress. As you may have noticed, I've kind of populated this whiteboard a little bit more, and in my population of it, filling in some of the void, I noticed something that we could have actually really added on the monetization category far earlier, and that is Sherry's use of Kappa Cash. Sherry's online business is a great example of internet monetization. As much as I don't believe in the efficacy of chit-chat sessions with psychics, can't help but respect the grift. Remember, HypnoCoin doesn't have any actual cash value. There's no actual way to make money on Hypnospace if you're not an affiliate sponsored company. And so Sherry figured out a way to make her offline business work online through Kappa Cash. But of course, bigger grifters like Merchantsoft don't like that they can't nickel and dime smaller grifters because of Kappa Cash. While acolytes of freeware have to worry about things like copyright censorship and just the increasing costs of hosting their free content, monetized and career-oriented internet users run into the danger of becoming more and more reliant on the internet being a platform for their career, not realizing, just like with Sherry, at any moment, the plug can be pulled. Their source of income can be shut down or stifled. Let's see if Rod's anti-government page, Secrets Uncovered, has finally gotten around to revealing his secret. But first, his status.
Anyone else doing the all-day Hypnospace challenge? $1 million, baby. My kids are going to college. The dad scholarship. Full ride.
Oh, I see. He's doing the 48-hour challenge, that hoax that Jezzo was working on that we saw on their FLST page. Keep this in mind. Now, we go to page 2, we pick the heart in his first riddle, and if we scroll too fast at the bottom of page 3, we find this.
Patience is a virtue. You came down here too quick and missed the link to the secrets. Oh well, you lose. Better scroll up.
Scrolling up, we find the proper link and find his big reveal.
You made it. Here are the secrets.
He's a bit late to the party, buddy.
A day late and $1 short, Rodney. It's funny how Beef Brain has already been widely debunked, but he's been so distracted trying to scan in this picture that he never got the memo. But maybe he's not too far off the mark. In case we were disappointed with this reveal, he's cooked up another conspiracy theory. A tale of two podiums. From what I can gather, sometime during President Hughes' administration, his press conference podium was replaced with a near identical one. However, this new one was slightly taller by 3/4 of an inch. Rod claims that these two different podiums indicates two different people. That the Hughes that we now see on the TV is a body double, even having a new white streak in his hair. This is just a funny little parody of the high-octane conspiracy theory crafting that must have been super common during this era of American history. Y2K.
We'll post more secrets when my source gives them at lunch. Well, almost time to wake up and get the kids ready for school. Gotta drop them off extra early for daycare. I'm yawning already, and it's not even morning. I'll see you all next time.
Jeez, so even Rod is being negatively affected by Hypnospace. Do you think this has something to do with Tim's mind crash? On Terry's page, there's nothing new except your status.
Sherry Heal's status. They make it hard to make a living on here. Go look at my friend's page, the Temple of Serenity. Gus is a good person.
It seems she hasn't seen Gus's special message yet. Too bad, I wanted to see her reaction. One thing that's interesting is that because we showed her levity in the previous shift, she's gone back to using the HypnoCoin deposit instead of the direct peer-to-peer contact method of acquiring her service. There's nothing new on Steve Guy's free sound page, but his status acts as a hint for those who have yet to discover a means to decrypting the NetSettler jumbled pages. Up next is Marvin's Tall Green Fact or Fiction page.
Anybody seen him? Update, Wednesday. Still no sightings, but I heard him. Report to me if you seen him. Love and peace.
Good luck to you, Marvin. Hope you've seen him soon. There's some good news on the Truth About Trennis front.
Truth about Trennis? Oh, nice. Aurora Stone status. We're building the first official tennis court up here in New Hampshire. Soon we'll be giving lessons.
Good luck, Aurora. As far as I can tell, that's all that's new and open-eyed. Let's go ahead and download Jezzo's Virtual Shaman. Now, if you remember, Soundscapes works in the background subtly, making noises depending on various actions you do. So, on a whim, I decide to play the janitor game and wait until the soundscapes kick in. I quickly realize that the noises the janitor game has will make the soundscape hard to hear, so I cut it out. But not before a bit of confusion and chaos takes place on my desktop.
Well, you're not letting me do my job! Alright.
In your mind's eye, picture the one you love the most. Now, without hesitation, tell them as loudly as you can.
What's going on? Whoa, whoa, whoa. But, huh?
Despite having sent off my love squid, he's just reappeared and died on my screen, leaving a tombstone. Now, here are some of Jezzo's lines that may play while you have his virtual shaman soundscape active.
In your mind's eye, you're a cloud, all the way up in the atmosphere. Now blow your wind, cloud. Blow. Experience. In your mind's eye, imagine you're a soaring seagull, flying over an endless beach. Now call out to your friends.
I think I get the gist. I believe the intention is to have people do embarrassing things during their meditation while using soundscapes in the office or public. But given that HypnoS only runs in our sleep, I think the embarrassment is highly mitigated. Oh, but then again, maybe people can sleep talk these things? That's pretty good, actually. That's actually really funny. Now, shall we scour the Teentopia zone and finally put this mind crash case to rest? We left off right before Counselor Ronnie's page. Clicking on over, we see that Rebruth Pin's Squishers art won the contest. That's sick. And here are some honorable mentions.
Rebruth Pin won. Heck yeah. Honorable mentions, a cute little drawing of Mushi. This looks like Grayson drew this. That's pretty sick.
Aside from some new false factoids, we have some more fan mail response in the Ask Ronnie page.
Ronnie, I love your page. You are good at drawing. I have a
question mark. I think so this was transcribed from a written letter. He doesn't know what he's.
Will you be my friend? I don't have any best friends. We live far away. Now nobody is my friend at school. P.S. What is your favorite food? Sam.
Hi there, Sam. I'm glad you like my page. It's very nice of you to compliment my art. The Counselor Ronnie art was actually made by someone who works here named Artie. I'll pass your compliment along. We completely gave up the game about Jezzo. And yes, I'll be your friend. I may not be able to respond to your messages or chit-chat, but know that Counselor Ronnie is always reporting for friend duty. As for your last question, I'd have to say, macaroni and cheese. Have a great night, and I look forward to hearing from you again very soon. Your friend, Counselor Ronnie. Well played, well played. Stick bricks.
If you're a cool teen,
don't insert a bean.
No way. This is an application that allows you to stack little Lego bricks on your desktop. Why the hell are we only getting access to this now? This would have been so epic on day 1 or even 2. Damn it. Well, no use whining. Might as well add some staircases to my Millennium Tower of Doom.
Very nice. I think it's finished. Oh, that's sick as hell.
Now, on to Dark Twilight Tiff's page.
Tiffany writes status. Yes, believe it or not, I am now religious, which means I am prohibited from romantic entanglements with atheist boys. I hope this is understood.
While I wish her luck on her journey of faith, I fear that she's just saying this to ward off all the unwanted attention from Tim and the likes. Aside from a link to the chopping mall scary we've already finished, she has a little blurb about Tim and his demeaning nickname.
Look, please do not message me about True Tranquility. I did not have a lot to do with it. Also, my nickname is not Marshmallow. Do not call me it. This is something an ex-friend of mine called me.
Aha. Ex-friend. Is that what this Minecraft shit is all about? That little cyber terrorist is lashing out over boundaries? That little shit! It's easy to miss, but Tiff has also removed her pictures from her page. It seems she's insecure about them.
I'll put more pics up when I get new ones. My old pics don't represent who I am today. For now, enjoy these scaries by Linda.
Another instance of self-censorship, in this case due to insecurity. And come to think of it, it could also potentially lead to some sort of damnatio memori. Imagine if Tiff took down her interactive scaries from the web before they could get archived. Or Grayson's drawings. You know, I remember when I was a kid, teachers had all sorts of horror stories about people getting fired because they were holding a beer in their Facebook photo. Or silly videos preventing kids from getting into college. Because of this, there are so many just absolutely golden, albeit a little bit embarrassing videos that sadly I took down in my youth. And man, I would give almost anything to just... I had a video called Messin' with Webcam. My friends and I still laugh our heads off about it to this day. I would probably like take out a loan just to get it back. Who knows? Maybe it did save my skin. But nowadays, kids don't have that luxury. If you're cringy or odd enough, people will turn your silly moments into a meme. That's the best case scenario. Usually some nastier actors on the internet will use your odd or embarrassing moments as casus belli for direct harassment or life ruination. It's both interesting and sad that this reality that was overblown in my youth is now a very real reality in today's youth. A very real risk. Maybe it's up to employers to stop giving a shit what their employees do on the internet. Barring some grave examples you and I can already, conjure up in our heads right now. And maybe it's also up to us to stop fixating so heavily on the people, the human beings, behind these moments of schadenfreude or secondhand embarrassment. Of course, in the case of Tiff, she's worried that her picture somehow would affect her new religious street cred. Sad stuff. With nothing new on Grayson's page, up next is Zane's fake girlfriend, Jessica.
I have broken up with Zane. Hello, this is Tiffany. The reason I broke up with Zane is because he's full of himself and uses way too much cheap cologne. And he's lame. Also, seepage sucks. Oh, this is a detail I actually missed, but it says, this is Tiffany. So perhaps Tim Mageddon got in his head that Tiffany had feelings for Zane. I don't know. Of course, just high-octane adolescent jealousy is at work here.
Huh. Odd. Did Tim hack Zane's account? Funnily enough, this doesn't count as harassment or bullying. Oh, we'll keep an eye out. Something tells me Tim's rage has spilled over into his fellow Teentopians' pages. The only thing new on Pizza Dance's page is their status.
Tell Mom and Dad what's for if you don't get Dr. Pizza for your New Year's Eve party. Just kidding. Eat Dr. Pizza tonight, though.
That sounds like a fun meal to celebrate the world not ending. Interesting that Dr. Pizza has yet to react to the new pizza-style movement. Up next is Randy's Dino World.
I am not 13. I am a kid.
13 is a kid too, buddy. I remember though, when you were that young, man, everybody looked so big.
Nothing else of note here, just wanted to say bye to our little paleontologist. Let's see how Rebecca is reacting to her Big Squishers win.
Bye everyone, take care. I'll miss every single one of you. My last goodbye. Dear Teentopia friends, this is my last message. My dad is selling my headband and canceling Hypnospace. Someone from church saw my page and my Squishers art and told on me. I do not believe that Squishers is satanic, and I thought that my dad agreed with me, but now he threw my game in the trash, and we have to sell the headband. I will miss you all. If you're ever in Ohio, come to the Spirit-filled Full Gospel Temple to meet me. Not on New Year's Eve, though. We're not gonna have the normal service. We're going to my cousin's house because the Lord gave my dad a word of knowledge to prepare. So we're pretty sure that the rapture will come this New Year's Eve. If it doesn't come, can someone come to church and tell me if I won the Squishers contest? Your friend, Rebecca Pinson. Bro, it's so sad. Oh, well, someone get the dang message to her.
And if that wasn't enough of a bummer.
The Squisher champ has been deleted. No, the free trial went up. The champion is gone.
Damn it, they're dropping like flies out here. Up next is Corey's page.
I have written an apology on my page. Once again, I'm sorry to everyone I misguided. Attention Teentopia, this is Corey again. After having a big talk with my parents, I've decided that I must come clean with you all. I do not really have a girlfriend. The page I made was fake. I'm very sorry for being deceptive, and I hope that you will forgive me. The reason I made this page was because I was embarrassed that everyone else on here had a GF, but I did not. I thought it would make me look cool. Well, as you can see now, I was wrong about that. I promise never to lie on here again. My parents have agreed to allow me one more chance to straighten out, so it's back to good old classic Corey with the old jokes and pizza. I'm sorry I tried to change who I really am. Sincerely, Corey, the brassy kid. Well, at least he's turning over a new leaf.
Hopefully he'll offer a private apology to Tiff. Or maybe just leave her alone and amend his life, in quiet. Now before getting into Timigeddon's page, let's see what he's done to Zane's page.
Zane rocks. I love Corey? Oh no. It's absolutely brutalized. No way. Your worst nightmare is here. This is what happens when you hit on a girl who is taken. Shape up, boy.
Tim, she ain't taken. Certainly not by you.
New updates below. Zane here. I hope you enjoy the new version of Zane. I'm expressing myself more freely now. My mom gets my shoes at the dollar store. I'm on free lunch because my mom works at a gas station and barely keeps that job going. Update, my mom's boyfriend pays for Hypnospace so I don't hear them going, oh my goodness, Tim, you are a vindictive asshole. Can you harass yourself technically? Is it possible to harass yourself? No, it's not, it doesn't count because he's not. I mean, kind of, is this not profane? Nothing. Nothing. How about the comics? Oh, cool, nice. Meanwhile, a little later on. Wow, Zane is a slayer and I'm the only one who knows? Meanwhile, in the city.
Come out, wherever you are. Well, you asked for it, sucker. What? What? How is Zane so strong? Could he be the final X-Slayer? Yeah, right. And now for my final act, to turn Zane's real dad into a flaming... yawn? Filet mignon. Oh, filet mignon. Okay. Voila.
It's French. It's Spanish.
Next time on Slayer's X, is Zane's long-lost dad really Mikey Psyche? Oh, so he's saying he's gonna turn him into a filet mignon. Is Zane really the chosen X-Slayer of the legends? Can the demon be defeated? Will the fire snakes kill Mikey Psyche? Will Zane hook up with Stephanie? Stay tuned and keep slaying. Dude, I don't know, man. This is pretty talented. He's got a seepage gun. Age 11. Grade, farts. Favorite music, girl music, not seepage because they suck. Favorite movies, Nude Dudes 2, Naked Crimes. Favorite games, anything where you pet horses. Relationship, I'm with Corey now. Big secret, shh. Hobbies, eating free lunch, pretending to not suck, stalking girls on chit chat. Yeah, you got a point there. Constantly, even though I'm going out with Corey, being dumb, being stupid. Favorite shows, soap operas and cooking shows. Oh my gosh. This is an interesting piece of commentary right here. Great website reward, The Dumpster, taking out Hypnospace's trash. I'm too dumb to understand satire, so I thought this website was giving me an award, even though they weren't. For this, they get my great website reward. The end. You scroll all the way down.
Hey, Enforcer, did I tell you that my mom buys my shoes at dollar store?
The most offensive thing in all of this is Timogeddon's use of free lunch as an insult. What a prick. There's an added bite to this, because based on a spin-off game, we learn that Zane does come from an economically vulnerable household. Perhaps it explains, but not excuses, his high-octane misanthropic angst. Oh, gosh. That would explain why he makes the lead singer of his favorite band his father in his little Slayer's universe. Zane was raised by a single mom. And you know what? Might as well get into this now, since we're saying bye to Zane. The spin-off game I'm talking about is Slayer's X Terminal Aftermath Vengeance of the Slayer. Yes, vengeance is misspelled. And yes, the Steam community page and reviews are a goldmine. After the events of Hypnospace Outlaw, Zane would go on to develop a game based on his self-inserty, fanficky Slayer's comic book. It's actually a really tight shooter, and if I do get around to doing my second annual live stream, that might be the game I play. There's a really cute part in one of the early levels where we can see a picture of Zane somewhere within his late teens and early 20s with his mother.
Oh, he grew up! He grew up! Oh, man. That's so cute. Oh, my gosh. Oh, man.
Sorry, I didn't realize how sappy I sounded in this footage. Like I keep saying, I'm getting old, and seeing people grow up just makes me smile. Kinda sounded like my aunts over there. Very Tantic Dunstant. You can't stop me. Now all that's left is Timogeddon. In the secret page, he has some words about the mine crash.
Timogeddon is proud to present the year 2000 mine crash. Can she save us?
Again, another hint as to who this is dedicated to. Tiff. We could scour the Minx page, but I think it's time we put this mine crash to rest. People are getting fatigued because of Hypnospace, and something about the mine crash could harm their already vulnerable brains. Whatever Tim is cooking up is sinister enough that even Reckoning and Samantha are begging people to stop using Hypnospace. I'm sure whatever we miss in Minx we'll be able to scour in full in our next and final shift. We enter the facsimile control panel to the potentially deadly mine crash virus and punch in the password. Marshmallow. What?
Are you forgetting something?
Oh, that's right. What happens if we go back to the Dumpy's archive and find the Got Game or Way Lame comic?
Dark Twilight Tiff?
Oh god. This is gonna be horrible.
Uh-oh. Did anyone hear that screeching? Oh, it's just Dark Twilight Tiff after a hot night with... Okay, let's, It's time. It's time, buddy.
That f***ing does it, Zane. You gotta get offline. Not only for Tiffany's sake, but for your own.
Way to deal Way to deal with that harassment. You're a real hero, Hightower.
Before continuing on with our next shift, I want to give a few big fan art shoutouts. Shout out to Annie for this very faithful crochet rendition of my channel picture. This is wonderful, it's like I can feel the feathers. And a big thank you to Concio Fosto for this hilarious home safety hotline meme. Shout out to Gabby for this cool embroidered glove inspired off my rendition of the yellow sign. Still on the King in Yellow, I want to give a big shout out to Nikki Cave, the wonderful artist that did art for my King in Yellow video, for their hilarious rendition of my live Haster reaction drawing. And to Whimsygoth for this cool sci-fi art inspired from the King in Yellow. Big thanks to Mercurial and Charcusi on Twitter for their replica renditions of me. This is so cool. And also to Miss Zena on Tumblr for drawing this meme I'd come up with on the fly in my Signalis video. Thank you to I don't know 4848 and Dirt Lover on Tumblr for these always sunny renditions, to Horse Riding Vet for this hilarious gif of my favorite immortality quote, to Organist for this fantastic drawing of which I'm told the secret video is hidden, and finally a thank you to PhaseArt136 for this fantastic piece that combines the garden poem from The King in Yellow and Signalis' plot. Thank you all so much for your submissions. If I forgot anybody or if you'd like to send in your art, you can do so through slawpeacock222@gmail.com. Now, on with the rest of the video. This is bad. Maybe we can finally do something about this Zane guy. Adding it as a case. Thanks, Sam. Permanent ban.
I've done everything I could. After flagging Zane for the first time, Merchantsoft acts swiftly and permaban Zane. Now, one rotten teenager down, another to go. We punch in the code Marshmallow and hack into the mainframe.
Hey, Marshmallow. Tiff. It's me, Tim. I'm sorry that this is another one of my weird things, but I didn't know how else to get you to hear me out. I just wanted to say I'm sorry for whatever I did to hurt or offend you, and I hope we get to talk soon. I really miss our conversations. You were really important to me, and I don't want to throw that away. There is no mind crash. It's just a silly thing I did to get you to read this page. Chit-chat me and let's work on something together. You can write the whole thing and I'll just do the art and music. It'll be all yours. Love, Tim. P.S. Want to move to Cyberworlds, maybe? A good hacker I'm friends with found some evidence that Hypnospace is really dangerous to your health, so I'm probably going to get off here as long as you come with me. Dr. Boulder misses you too.
Tim, sometimes you just gotta let go. Well, I'm glad this is all just one big nothing burger. Mind crash, what a hoot. When we disable the scary mind crash overlay, Teentopia goes back to normal.
Be who you want to be. Hypnospace is really, really cool. All the kids are talking about.
That's cool. I think Be Who You Want to Be is the slogan for Esotonic Records. We get a message from Dispatch.
We all love Hypnospace so much it rocks it is the.
Wow, you stopped the mind crash. Enforcer, good job. I'm the only one here tonight and wasn't able to get around to figuring out what that guy's weird password was. Sam. Thanks again, from Sam.
Oh hey, the new update is installing. Nice. Happy New Year. Must be those well overdue bug fixes. You know, I still can't shake something. If all the mind crash was a purely visual stunt, then why was Reckoning and Samantha both independently telling people to stop using Hypnospace? My memory is hazy, but I don't recall Samantha having that same urgency when assigning us the mind crash virus case. Is it just me, or is this update a little glitchy? Oh, and Reckoning. The hacker would have probably known all along that this mind crash was nothing short of a harmless stunt. So what do they know that we don't about the mind crash? Or about Hypnospace? Is it just the health issues that come with its use? I feel like that's more of a long-term hazard than something imminent. Maybe... Hold on. This isn't a patch. This is an installer for Outlaw, Dylan's shitty game. You mean to tell me he hasn't been working on the bug fixes? Uh-oh. What's happening?
No! Stop! Stop it! Stop it! No! No! Shit! Ah!
High tower. High tower. High tower. Something's not right.
Hippie! Hang in there, Hippie!
Log off immediately and power down your headset. Set.
I can't! Hippie!
Hello, Hightower.
You're back. You're coming with me. Shit! My head! Ah! Don't let go, hippie! Don't let go! No!
Please! They told me if I don't upload this backup, they'll drain my bank accounts and tank my credit score. Yeah? Well, if you don't turn off your Lucidec this instant, I'll shoot. Hightower! Huh? I'm uplinked. If you sever my connection while I'm uplinked, you'll kill me. Cardiac arrest, if I'm not mistaken. Still a chance to come back. Far better fate than your shock sorcerer buddies. What kind of cop are you? Just stop uploading and log off. See? If you help us, there will be no shock sorcerers to drain your bank account. I can't take that risk. Well, that makes two of us. Chill out, Hightower. He's desperate just like us. Show him some mercy. I was lenient in the past. And because of that leniency, 6 people died. No half measures. Jesus Christ! He's fine. Check his Lucidec. He logged off of his Lucidec before he was severed. He should be safe. Good man. Transferring us over to the office.
This is Captain Below Jobs. What do you have for me, Hightower?
This network makes up something called the Black Hex. It's not just a virus, it's like a virus philosophy. It seems to be the building block for a new age of internet misfortune. All new shock websites, all new leaks, all new trolling methods, causing pain and suffering, and somehow growing the power of the primary node, the Black Hex.
I'm looking at it right now. This is bad, Detective.
This isn't an original work, however. It derived from a long-defunct government project.
Anti-Archival Azure. Project Blue Cube in conspiracy circles.
Anti-archival? So what, a tool for censorship?
This goes far beyond covering up the government's dirty laundry. This is a virus capable of changing the past.
What?
You did good work, Hightower. I'm taking you off the case.
What? No, but we're just getting started.
I've read your file. You were there for the Y2K mine crash. I don't want to insult your integrity, but you of all people should know the kind of destruction the cutting edge can do when in the hands of the willful.
But Captain,
I'm disabling your Lucidec. Log off and take a well-deserved break.
The hardware of the headband went totally haywire. It's hard to tell, but it looks like we've been woken up in the morning. So that indicates that we've been getting bombarded with lights, images, and just glitched out sound and visuals for hours since the moment shortly after New Year. And while we're okay, well, I'll just go ahead and play this out.
The California teen hacker responsible for the year 2000 mine crash virus that left at least 4 Hypnospace users dead has become the first juvenile charged in federal court with manslaughter by way of computer hacking. Tim Randall Stevens, who went by the handle Timogeddon in Hypnospace, will serve up to 6 years in federal prison for the crime.
To wait them in town to take medication. The virus is said to have infected over 1,000.
So that hours-long neural overload killed 4 Hypnospace users, and Timogeddon was blamed for it. That makes no sense, though. We know that the mine crash was purely a harmless stunt. It had to be that Outlaw update. This doesn't make any sense. Despite everything, this sequence takes us back to the main menu of the game, and our save file says, "Data recovered. Please log into complete recovery." So our Enforcer character at some point recovered the data on the fried Hypnospace headband. How long after the mine crash did this happen? 2025. So this takes us to the current day, 25 years after the Y2K mine crash.
You left me unplugged for 25 years. What is wrong with you?
Happy to see you, hippie. Just like how I left it all those years ago. Let's check out our Hypno Mail.
Enforcer, I can't tell you how amazing it was to hear from you. It's been decades, but I knew there had to be someone out there with a working Enforcer headband. Me and a few former Hypnospace citizens formed a ragtag group to preserve content from the service's late 1999 period, just before the crash. We've been unable to find anyone involved with Merchant Soft outside of Artie, which is a story in and of itself. And we're pretty certain that the backup servers are long gone after Merchant Soft got raided. You represent the first major breakthrough we've had towards preserving a piece of history that would otherwise be lost. Please check out the Lost and Found page on our intranet and help us track down a few of those things there. I may have an additional task for you if you can help us locate a couple of those things. Enforcer headband units had an entire gigabyte of internal disk space. Our best guess is that Enforcer units doubled as mini backup servers, which conveniently wasn't told to the unpaid moderators who might have scrapped them for parts. We coded a little program to help you help us extract the data accessible in your headband and upload it to us. Download and install the attached program to get started. We're all really excited to see what you dig back up. Chelsea. Oh, P.S. Check out the zone we set up if you want to learn more about your fellow HAP members or catch up on what happened following the mine crash.
Wanting to take a trip down memory lane. So, while all regular citizens can just browse and create pages in this home-brewed Hypnospace intranet, our Enforcer headband took snapshots of the 3 shifts we participated in, backing up all the pages and zones, even pages we hadn't explored. In terms of gameplay, we'll be able to re-explore all 3 previous shifts with all the tools at our disposal, from the All-Seeing Eye, HypnoCure Pro, and if need be, we'll be able to install any of those virtual pets if we need to decrypt a sandwich file. Many things in internet culture contribute to archivism. The need for posterity, free expression, piracy, and accessibility, heck, even some more friction-based forms of entertainment, like rise and fall videos. Even if for the sake of detracting from their subject matter, preserve the memories and happenings of days long past. And so for this reason, the Hypnospace Archival Project is such a fantastic way to tie up this game. Hypnospace Outlaw, brimming with nostalgia and longing for the long-dead ephemeral days of the old internet. After installing the Hypnospace Archival Project interface, we can track all pages we've archived through a page map. I'm not sure if the pages we've explored in our previous shifts count as already archived, but regardless, the purpose of this video is not so much this particular aspect of this shift. This is just a fun thing for completionists to do after beating the game. I'll see if I can find if I've missed anything and feature it before the finale of the story, but otherwise I think we did a good job already combing through everything. Now, being that Merchant Soft has gone under, we aren't assigned any more cases. We have, however, lost and found requests. More on that later. It looks like we've got another Hypno Mail from
Hap_Tamara.
Tamara. I'm glad she made it to 2025.
Team Strategy email. Hello everyone. First of all, I want to wish a warm welcome to our newest member, Enforcer. We couldn't be happier to have you. Happy face. Couldn't be happier to have you too, Tamara. The Hypnospace Archival Project needs more outside attention if it's going to survive. To put it plainly, we need to attract donors. My own social reach can only go so far. The kids who read my books don't remember forums, let alone Hypnospace. I've been reading about how to reach people on a personal level and found that music is actually one of the strongest stimulators of both memory and emotion. To that end, our goal for the time being is to track down a few of the music-related things on our Lost and Found page. Remember that you can switch between multiple dates using the Hap tool. Let's harness that nostalgia. Good luck, Tamara.
Like I said, we'll explore that soon enough. Before checking out the HAP intranet, I noticed that we have an updated Outlaw game, the one that installed right before everything crashed. Well, we can actually play the full version of the game now. This is what Dylan had prioritized over so many of the important aspects to Hypnospace. But I won't lie, it's a pretty cool game, and knowing that the intention was to have it be an online multiplayer game, it's even more ingenious. Of course, this build is just purely offline, using the Hypnospace citizens we came to love as fellow motorists on this virtual highway. We have various abilities. We can switch directions, hover above obstacles, and use a beam to apprehend outlaws. Catching the wanted outlaws will render 33 Hypno coins, but crashing will deduct from your final reward. If you didn't know about the janitor game, this would be your only means of grinding out Hypno coins. But we've got everything we need, and more than enough Hypno coins. Now, It's been a while, but let's go ahead and re-educate ourselves on the Y2K mind crash.
All about the mind crash and what happened at the end of it all. The Y2K mind crash, looking back, the end of sleep time. The Y2K mind crash was the year 2000 event. Without it, our biggest Y2K problems would have been 2 malfunctioning bus ticket validation machines in Australia and a couple dozen disappointed end times preachers. The mind crash wasn't a fault of a computer programming oversight or date-related bug. Its cause was an out-of-control joke virus created by a teenager in an attempt to impress an exclusive underground hacker group. Timageddon, teen hacker.
The article is a bit cut off, but it just simply reiterates what we saw in that breaking news video. Tim was the first minor to be charged with manslaughter for internet-related crimes. It left 4 Hypnospace users dead, and Tim would be sentenced to 6 years in prison.
Tim served 6 years in prison and emerged a changed person. He reached out to me last year about helping with HAP, and we're happy to have him. He's currently working on a program to help preserve data from special enforcer headband units.
Oh wow. The HAP software was his doing.
In Tim's words, "Hi all, Tim Stevens here. I hope that after 2 decades you'd be able to forgive me and understand that I'm not the person I was at 16. My actions back then were driven by juvenile insecurities. I've had a long time to grapple with the pain I caused people and make amends with the surviving family members of those who passed. Things were difficult after I left prison, but I'm happy to say that I've since been blessed with a wife and a little girl. I'm open to talk if anyone has questions." The victims.
Oh my god. The mind crash killed 16-year-old Tiffany Wright. We knew her as Dark Twilight Tiff. Of course, she suffered from epilepsy. While she hadn't had a seizure for some time, the headband malfunction must have caused her to have a seizure, one that ultimately killed her. Shit, the next one. Mavis. There's no mystery there. She was an old woman. If you remember, she lived in a nursing home where one of her friends, Dorothy, was placed in special care for memory loss. We also have Rodney Hooks of Rod's anti-government page. He was the Secrets Uncovered guy. Oh shit, that's right. Jezzo crafted that stupid Y2K challenge hoax. Rodney said he was participating in it for the fake cash prize. And if you remember, he was going to take his kids to school the next morning. Holy shit, that must have been traumatizing for the kids. And then, Roddy Wall. Ringleader Roddy. One of the head programmers of Merchantsoft, creator of Virtual Pets, Sandwich Decryption, The Accelerator, and childhood friend of Dylan Merchant. Even after being fired, he was there until the end. His loyalty led to his death. Despite my efforts, there's nothing I could have done to prevent these 4 deaths. I hope that maybe wrongfully flagging Tiff for the screenshots she posted during our second shift would lead to the screw-ups over at Merchantsoft to ban her. But no, that was one ball they sadly didn't drop. Oh, a ball being dropped. Drop the ball. Probably not appropriate to have eureka moments at this somber hour. But yes, letting somebody down, dropping the ball, watching the ball drop on Y2K, goes without saying, keep this in mind. On the bright side, there are 2 people we saved from certain death, however. And that is Carl from Burnin' Rubber 50, who we got banned for his Gumshoe Gooper infringements during our second shift, and believe it or not, Zane, who we got banned for his nasty drawing and writings of Tiff. Now, Burning Rubber likely would have died because of his age, and maybe his degrading eyesight being a vulnerability to the mind crash. And, while Zane has no possible medical contraindications for Hypnospace, unless I'm mistaken, I believe there are Easter eggs in the Slayers X game that indicate that he was participating in the Y2K 48-hour challenge, making his brain vulnerable to the mind crash, similar to Rodney. Speaking of which, given that Slayers X, the spin-off game, was released, it's safe to say that canonically Zane survived the mind crash. I don't get it. We know that Tim's mind crash virus wasn't a virus at all. It was just a stupid visual stunt, and it was specifically on Teentopia. The headband crash followed the installation of the Outlaw game, which, in the past, did cause our headband to crash on our first shift. But that was the alpha build. We just played the official 1.0 build and it ran smoothly. It's a viable means of attaining HypnoCoin on this final HAP shift. So what the hell killed these people? If it wasn't Tim, then did he serve 6 years in prison, lose the rest of his childhood, an innocent boy? Let's not get ahead of ourselves. We weren't on the jury, and we weren't the likely tech-illiterate judge that sentenced him. We're not here as a force of justice anymore, a force of censorship. In fact, we're here to do the opposite. We're here to help archive and preserve the memories of Hypnospace before it went to shit. Just one more thing. Let's go ahead and meet the rest of the HAP team.
I'm excited to be back in Hypnospace. Thank you all for your hard work. Time flow, time. Steaming. Gone.
Well, how old is he now? 99 years old? I don't buy that. Did you use Hypnospace in 98 to 99?
Hypnospace? Did we really use it? Or did it use us?
If so, did you do anything embarrassing?
Embarrassment is shame. Humiliation is hurt. Embarrassment is not me, not us.
What are you up to now?
Lover, designer, giver, breeder of hope, agent of peace, wonder-filled spirit.
Well, I'm glad to have you, Artie. I had my issues with Merchant Soft, but you were just a designer. Your biggest crime were those shitty spiral designs. Although, 25 years after the fact, yeah, they have their charm I certainly do miss. Up next is Chelsea. Again, she's the person who's been organizing the HAP effort. As far as I know, she didn't have a page back in the day.
The HAP co-lead along with Tamara. Hi, sorry about the lack of a picture. I'll have to get a suitable one uploaded soon. I'm Chelsea. It's unlikely that anyone remembers me since I never made my own Hypnospace page or used chit-chat, but Hypnospace was a very important part of my life. The whole archival project was my idea, and thankfully Tamara was interested enough to help me foot the bill. Did you use Hypnospace in 98 to 99? Yes. If so, did you do anything embarrassing? Nope. If I ever did get around to making a page, I would have had plenty to share here. What are you up to now? Not a whole lot, really. Just working a boring office job and reminiscing about Hypnospace in my off time. Can't wait to see what we're able to dig up.
That's cool. She was just a mere lurker. Kind of like us enforcers.
Tamara's page. T. Frost here. Yes, the same T. Frost who wrote Between the Angry Spaces. Hello everyone, I'm Tamara, perhaps better known today as T. Frost. When Chelsea reached out to me about supporting the Hypnospace archival project, I literally jumped for joy. There was something special about Hypnospace. It felt like it lived in place. That folks are out there trying to preserve its history inspires me greatly. Sorry about the old picture. Did you use Hypnospace in 98 to 99? Sure did. If so, did you do anything embarrassing? I'm not so sure. It's been ages. For my age at the time, it was highly probable. Young Tamara didn't know where to take her life. She was an autumn leaf, blown every which way by people and social movements and her own creative whims. What are you doing now? I'm a poet for children. I wrote a few anthologies that your kids have probably seen at their school library. Between the Angry Spaces, 2010, and River, 2012. That's freaking sick.
Oh, Between the Angry Spaces. That's a line in, frankly, my favorite Tamara poem, Zones. And River, of course, is her river poem. Now, my silly crushing on Tamara bits aside, like I said, if there was a single Hypnospace citizen that I just immediately think of when thinking of this game, it's Tamara. So having her be one of the key characters in this Hypnospace archival project is so cool. And then, finally...
And then we have Tim's page. Thanks to all for your warm welcome. Please read my page before sending me any messages directly. Thank you. Feels a little strange using this page builder so many years later. But yes, hi, I'm Tim. Yep, the same Tim you probably heard about back in the early 2000s. Yes, I went to prison, and yes, I spent the whole 6 years there. I'm much different now, as anyone is after adolescence. Did you use Hypnospace in 98 to 99? Yes. If so, did you do anything embarrassing? I'm not really sure how to answer this one. Embarrassing is not the right word for what I caused. I still think about it every day, and I'm deeply, deeply sorry for it. I was a kid messing around with tech that I knew almost nothing about. My entire world revolved around wooing a girl I was infatuated with and getting into a hacker group, and I would have done anything to impress either of them. I had no idea that I'd even be capable of harming people with the software I'd made. It was all just so stupid. What are you up to now? I work in computer security and live a contented life with my wife and daughter.
Shit. That's right. He was infatuated with Tiffany. I can't imagine spending all those years in prison for a crime that led to the death of somebody I was trying to romantically impress. Something's not right. It's been 25 years, sure, but I remember the mine crash as if it were less than an hour ago. Tim's mine crash was harmless. Tim was harmless. Annoying, maybe a bit mean, a little shit. He didn't respect Tiff's boundaries. What did he call her again? Gumdrop? Candy corn? Pastillas de leche? I forget. But harmless nonetheless. Well, the best place to start in our archival project is to look through the lost and found. This is sort of like the Hypnospace version of the subreddit Tip of My Tongue, where people ask around for specific pages and links that they have fond memories of, back in the halcyon days of Hypnospace. The first one is from Artie, a lost Chowderman song text file. Most likely lyrics.
Lost and Found 001, Lost Chowderman Song. It's a hex file. I think we actually found this one. Adrian wanted to know if you'd dig up a song that the Chowder Man wrote about his helicopter accident. He remembers only a vague lyric about losing a leg. Adrian swears he sent him a text file with the lyrics and chords and would really love to have it again, as I believe it would soothe Adrian's soul.
Okay, so we've got to find a Chowder Man song. Using our HAP tool, we can go back in time to our snapshots. If memory serves me right, Chowder Man's page was in the Cool Punk Oh wow.
Oh my gosh, this song.
Your mother and I used to drink Gray's Peak to this. Okay, I'll drop this role-playing shtick and get back to Peacock. Bye-bye, Hightower. So let's go ahead and first find the Chowder Man page. When we find new pages, it saves it to the archive, and we can switch through each shift to see what the page looked like during each phase of the game. All we have to do is view the page that each lost and found request is looking for, and it will automatically complete it. Now, Artie and Adrian are looking for a text file. That doesn't sound like something that would be available for download or purchase on the official page. I recall finding the One-Legged Man lyrics on Chowder Man's F list. We peep his headband ID and punch it into our search bar, and it takes us to his directory, just like old times. Now here I download the text file, but that's not necessary. We come back to the current year, and after a couple of seconds, we complete the first lost and found request.
Wow, so the rumors are true. Eric and I didn't have compatible auras, but I can't deny his talent and sheer lyrical brilliance. I'm sure One-Legged Man would have been a hit. Alright, the next one. Lost early song demo recordings of now famous rapper. This is from Tamara. Kev J, a close friend of mine and famous rap star now, remembers putting his music on Hypnospace when he was in his early 20s, but never really getting any attention. All he remembers is that some guy deleted him from a listing, saying that his music wasn't real music because it was flip-flop, that he should do something more imaginative instead. That was Gil Secretes, yeah. I asked him if he maybe used any search tags, but he didn't even know what I meant, so this may be a hard find. Finding this would be a huge deal. Tamara.
I remember not being able to access the Freelands during our first shift, and there was talk about Kev J from both Tamara and Connie's connections. Now there's a very easy way to solve this one. We must simply type in Kev with the 2 V's in our search bar, and it will take us to his page. Good thing it's 2 V's, making it 4 characters, or else we wouldn't have been able to search it. Who was it again that complained about that? Oh yeah, Mr. Mystery... Oh, yeah. Roddy. Even beyond the grave, his tips and tricks live on, watching us from the stasher or hider in the sky. Let me go ahead and play out this track that plays on Kev J's page.
I'ma dance, dance, dance to the beat, gonna stand on my head, gonna dance with my feet, let's dance, dance, Wonderland, it's the best of time with the best of friends. I'm Kevin J, and I'm here to say...
Now, it's been a while, but Kev J was the guy who also made the Red Strike Flip-Flop fan page. This was accessible through Connie's connections. We couldn't ever access Kev's main page in our first shift because our search function only worked for zones we were assigned to, and we didn't get assigned Starport Dream Castle until our second shift.
So, I'm Rosalita, and it's nice to meet ya. Let me tell you about my very best speech.
Now, we technically could have searched for it in our second shift, so it's not that elusive. However, there is a more, fun and cheeky way we can find Kev's page. But first, let's go ahead and listen to this other song he has. It's a work in progress called Buffet Heist. I think I know a thing or two about buffet heists.
Sitting at a table drinking pina coladas, eating all the caviar, we ain't paying nada. Yeah, we rolled up on the resort and we slipped right in. The buffet's always open and we always win, cause we got in a buffet. No, we ain't ever gonna pay, cause we made some waiter friends. This buffet heist ain't never gonna end. Yeah, we got...
That's freaking sick. Cause we got in a buffet. No, we ain't ever gonna pay. Okay, so that was really, really easy. Let me show you another kind of creative way to find it here. Another fun kind of bass backwards way, and this is pretty interesting. See, we're only able to access this place on our second shift, November 26th, but we can actually go back in time and
important message received from
now Samantha's right now blowing up. Okay, let me just...
Okay, that throws a wrench in how I wanted to paste this. Samantha is obviously blowing up our hypno mail. Just ignore her for now. First, let's read Tamara's thanks to us.
At the risk of sounding like I'm fame obsessed, I have to say this find is going to be enormous for us in the HAP. Kev J is the hottest flip-flopper today, and his fans and patrons are going to eat this up. These recordings are so adorable too, especially the buffet one. Aw, Tamara.
Okay, as you can see with my inbox, there's something clearly going on with Samantha and Chelsea. We won't explore this until after we've totally cleared up all lost and found cases. Now, where was I? Oh yes, even though we couldn't access the Freelands on our first shift, if we time travel to shift 2 and enter the Freelands, we can turn back time and explore the Freelands in its earliest stages. Here are some fun examples of the Freelands' creativity before Gil threw his control freak hissy fits. First are Gil's comments on his wife's plot additions.
The tree heart is cute, honey, but I'm going to have to remove it. Sorry, babe. From Gil.
Here are his comments on the Observer's plot.
Tower too big. What do you think this is? New York City? What a dickbag.
And here are his comments on Roddy's bullring plot. The insolence.
Hey Roddy, nothing big, but I think you should put the accelerator program somewhere harder to access. Are you sure your bosses would be okay with it? We don't need trouble right from the get-go. Whoa there, buddy. This is too many flags. What is this, a flag farm?
I see. He probably added all those flags because they were the only Gil-approved assets that vaguely resembled the red cloth that is used in bullfighting. Now, in the Wizard Eagle's plot on Shift 1, Gil has only placed a single note, the one we already read on our second shift. And at this point, he hasn't made those little passive-aggressive X's on the Wizard Eagle's animated visuals. It's funny, there's only one Wizard Eagle GIF here, but in our second shift there are 3, so it seems our net settler purist is intentionally defying Gil.
Wow, how many drugs? We've already read this one, but this was before all that extra stuff was put. But here, we're not able to access Kevin J, because remember, we accessed it from here, and we weren't able to go back. We weren't able to do it. For some reason, yeah, so we probably, from here, we probably could have looked him up and found him then and there, but at least we did now. Wow, Kevin, you need to work on this. Please get rid of the text on your freelance plot and use one of the building icons we have provided. Thanks. We need to keep it looking great for the opening. And this is another way you can access it.
Up next is Lost and Found 3, Roddy's early test pet.
Roddy's early test pet. I'm almost certain that Roddy made an odd-looking test pet early in November that looked like that comic book floating eye he always talked about. Would love to play with it again.
That would be Muleta. Chances are we can find it on his F-list page. Now, Artie specifically mentions it being an early test pet. We must access his F-list page and turn back time to our very first shift, and voila, we find his early test pet based on Muleta. Let's give it a download.
Downloading test pet.
It's Muleta. It's a little crappy pixel art, but it's so sick. I'm gonna keep him around.
Important message received from Hap_Artie.
Roddy's old test pet. Thank you. It's at the bottom of the list there. I could embrace you. This brings back fond memories. Sometimes I'd pet it for long stretches of time, counting each heart that materialized around it. I think I'll do that now. It's in remembrance of Roddy. His legacy.
And now our fourth Lost and Found request.
Weird secret eye cult? I could be misremembering, but I think I remember all kinds of pages with strange Egyptian eyes on them. If my memory serves, I'm pretty sure even Adrian Merchant had that symbol somewhere. Can you find out what that was all about? Uh-huh. I remember that.
If you remember, very early on in our journey, we found a strange faded eye of Horus in the background of one of those celebrity travel guide photos. The page was either created by Adrian or maybe Carrie Jacob, the lead of the Desperate in Dallas, Montana show, the celebrity of whom this travel guide is dedicated to or authored by. We can also find an eye of Horus on Artie's logo backstory page, specifically the backstory of the first Hypnospace logo. Now, Chelsea specifically mentions Adrian Merchant's page. While I can't find any eyes here, we can be reminded of his password slip-up in his status on our first shift, Falcon123. This will come into play later. Eyes. A cult. Well, the open-eyed logo has an eye atop a pyramid. Ooh, you know what? If you remember, Lookout Ministries has an article about eye-centered occult imagery in Squishers. If we click on the tag for Horus on the right-hand side, which is equivalent to searching for it in our search bar, we find, aha, the Children of Horus home. We punch in Falcon123. Now, what is this page?
Nice. Heck yeah.
From what I can gather, a bunch of Hypnospace citizens created a little club where they would hide eyes on their page, and whoever had the most hidden without being found by the end of the year would be the winner, which should be announced at a banquet and ritual cleansing. It was to be held on January 9th, 2000, so it likely never happened. The cleansing probably just means they wipe the slate clean and start hiding new occult references in their pages. Or maybe throughout their various pieces of media, like Chowderman's album art or Carrie Jacobs' TV show. What's interesting is this banquet and ritual was to be held in the same place Cool Fest was held, the King's Food Amphitheater. Was the carnage of Cool Fest a part of their ritual cleansing? Probably not. The two people who have been disqualified are Chowderman and M. Truck, who, if I'm not mistaken, is a tennis player briefly mentioned in the newsroom, who works closely with Merchantsoft. Evidently, they broke the rules of not talking about Children of Horus by name. C. Jacob, of course, is Carrie Jacob, A. Merchant is Adrian Merchant, and A. Dispenza is Artie. But who the hell is F. Kasuma and A. Larson? On the off chance I missed something, I looked on the Wikia for any Larsons or Kazumas, and it seems they're only ever mentioned in the Children of Horus page. So to me, this indicates that this game of hiding occult symbols isn't just played on Hypnospace, but just everywhere. Hiding symbols in whatever part of culture they're actively involved in. Maybe M. Truck has some sort of celebratory gesture. Maybe there's an eye hidden somewhere on one of Chowderman's album arts. I suggest that because on the wiki I found a very interesting theory that perhaps Kazuma, given his name's evident Japanese origin, could link him to the Game Champ or Squishers. In our world, Nintendo and the Pokemon Company is a Japanese intellectual property, so perhaps it's the same way in Hypnospace. If you remember on Lookout Ministries, he points out two occult symbols, one on the Hislime eye and one on the spots of the giraffe. And I feel like he missed a couple, one of them being that little devilish bug. This is reflected in the Children of Horus page. During one of our shifts, we see F. Kazuma's found occult symbols number go up by 2. This could be the giraffe and Hislime. So perhaps Lookout Ministries was, in fact, correct. There are occult symbols being hidden in your children's squishers, although for no reason except this fun little occult-themed I Spy ARG. This game is so grand in its scope, I'm sure there are a couple of juicy little side stories I must have missed. But regardless, let's read Chelsea's email in response to our find.
Yeah, those guys were weird. Was this just some dumb competition between rich guys? Disappointing, really. I thought it might open up some sort of conspiracy.
Looking for conspiracies, Chelsea? I'm just going to ignore those emails that indicate that she's secretly Samantha for now. We just have one more lost and found, a missing person.
Missing person, Dimitri Jackson. The daughter and ex-wife of a Dimitri Jackson have contacted us requesting any information we can find on what may have happened to cause his disappearance in the late 1999. All they know is that he was using Hypnospace frequently at the time and was communicating frequently with a rich guy who was going to help him fund some sort of sea voyage. He was last seen in mid-December 1999. I remember this dude.
This one's very simple. We must simply scroll down to the email from Dimitri. His username is Deep Into the Deep. He was the guy we donated 200 Hypno coins to for his voyage. Because we did donate to him, he did go on his voyage. Here's his page during our second shift.
Expedition is underway thanks to Enforcer. I am in the planning stage of the expedition. I found a submarine on Acution, and I will use the funds from the rich benefactor to secure and repair it. Here is an image of the submarine. I cannot afford a crew at this time, so I will have to go on this expedition all alone. I'm charting maps and looking for the most likely place of hiding treasures. If I find the treasures, I will bring a crew back to retrieve them and share it with my generous donators. Dimitri.
This takes us to New Year's Eve.
Oh crap. He actually found it.
I have found the treasure. I went on my first trip but could not get my camera to function, so no one would believe me and help me get it. I'm going to go out again tomorrow on a boat and dive for it myself. I'll post an update soon. I'm so close. Here are the DD coordinates in case something might happen to me.
Oh, so us donating money to his venture led to his death. Kinda throws a wrench in this little meta-narrative I've been crafting. Oh well, you can't save them all. And well, who knows? Maybe he'll come up alive in the sequel to Hypnospace Outlaw, Dream Settler. Very excited for that. Here's what Chelsea has to say about this find.
Whoa, great find. We'll send Dimitri's family these coordinates.
Now, with all of those lost and founds completed, let's get into the main reason why Chelsea invited us here.
My name is Samantha, but you know me as Chelsea. Here, wait a few seconds, I'll show you. See? I'm switching back over to the Samantha account. I have something very important to tell you. Please, wait for me. Once upon a time, I was an overworked employee at Merchantsoft. You can still see my picture on the team page. While we scrambled to put together the Hypno S Year 2000 update, Dylan Merchant worked on whatever he pleased. F-List, some weird big game project. I also caught him hanging around in some hacker group. A few hours before we went live with the update, a giant software package was uploaded from somewhere else in the building, while everyone was gearing up for the Merchantsoft New Year's party. I believe this was a software patch added to the year 2000 update by Dylan, inserting last-minute changes that ultimately caused the Y2K mind crash. I believe Dylan Merchant is responsible for the resulting deaths. I believe Dylan knowingly allowed Tim, a fellow HAP team member, you know him as Timageddon, to be framed for this disaster and spend 6 years of his young life in prison. I need your help to prove it. Details incoming. Your objective. I need you to find and access files that prove 1. Merchantsoft knew the year 2000 update wasn't ready, or Hypnospace knew that their technology could have harmful effects on its users. I do remember Dylan having an anxiety attack over a security breach right before Y2K, so maybe look underground?
I remember something like this. This had to do with Tim's Thanksgiving password feast. This points us to those Minx forums. Or perhaps this could point to that strange page that was made by Reckoning in the official Hypnospace zone. We'll check both. Attached to the Hypnomail is an executable file that will add a new violation type to our banhammer. We'll use this to submit evidence to Samantha.
If you find this information, do you have any idea what will happen? We can see justice done, all without telling a single other soul. So, are you ready, partner? Let's do this.
After taking a break from recording, I came back to install the Sam Hammer and find this.
Oh, shit. I went to go have dinner, and I left it run. Oh, fuck. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, test pet. Shit.
Rest in peace, Muleta. So we need evidence regarding all things corruption and culpability regarding Merchantsoft and the mine crash. While I brainstorm how I want to go about this, we get a mail from Artie. That can wait. I decided the best place to start is from the beginning, in the Minx forums. Now, we couldn't access this on Shift 1 because we couldn't afford HypnoCure Pro.
Important message received from Dylan.
Wait, what?
Oh, shit. Dylan.
From Artie. An auspicious addition. I cannot overstate how proud I am to introduce my good friend and former full-time employer. Tableau roll, please. Dylan Merchant is joining our team. I'm sure you'll find him as valuable a source of information and intriguing conversation as I have over the past 2 decades. Artie. Thanks for that warm welcome, Artie. If any of you come across something that seems like it came from inside Merchantsoft, documents, images, work-in-progress fragments, please contact me before going to the rest of the group. I can verify stuff, provide context. I'm an open book with a lot to offer here. Smiley face. Excited to join this passionate team and make sure the full legacy of Hypnospace is preserved properly.
Samantha, as Chelsea, secretly forwards us a chain between Chelsea and Tamara.
Original message. Hello, Tamara. I'm excited that we have another new member like everyone else, but I realize Artie did this somewhat independently. Can we just bring folks into the core team anytime we want going forward? Oh, you don't have to worry about my authority being leapfrogged. Artie cleared it with me before bringing Dylan on board. Actually, my speaking to Dylan about Enforcer joining and our new potential to access the Merchantsoft intranet seemed to play a major part in his coming aboard.
Crap. Is Dylan on to us? Well, what's he gonna do? Ban us from our Enforcer role? He has no power where he stands. Merchantsoft is dead.
That said, if there's any issue at all with anything, say a new recruit, please let me know. Direct messages, smoke signals, anybody is free to talk to me through whatever they're comfortable with at any time. It's my job to ensure everyone here is safe and comfortable, not just funded. Oh no, nothing like that. Just checking how things are supposed to work for people like that internally and going forward. Smiley face, Chelsea.
Okay, where were we? Let's first scour through the Minx forum activities that took place on our first shift. The earliest post is from Reckoning on October 27th, 1999.
Merchantsoft dropped NetSettler page support. Can't view unless you buy HypnoCure Pro? This is trash. Why does Merchantsoft hate their users? From the dumpster. You must be joking. There's no way people are shelling out 499 HypnoCoin for that. This almost seems like a direct attack on us, since we're one of the few pages still using the old NetSettler format. They must know that we don't pay for anything. Sucks for people who want visitors, but useful to keep Minx hidden. If we keep it this way? Yeah, I think you can download it for free on a few F-lists. I'll put it on my island and Freelands too. Either way, whatever script they wrote to add that ugly NetSettler header sucks, because it totally missed our pages. And that sound effects guy in Open-Eyed. It does offer another layer of security, which is okay. I'm considering sending HC Pro around to some of the poor users they've screwed, though.
Okay, so we have one big lead, a hidden island in the Freelands. Next post is on Halloween from Dumpy, of the dumpster.
From the dumpster. Halloween special up on the dumpster. featuring skeleton animations and more of Arlen's unbelievably horrible artwork. What more do you want? Hilarious as always, from Ghost Tech 4. I don't recall ever meeting a guy like that.
I disagree. I like Arlen's work. Next post is another by Dumpy on November 1st, just a few days before our induction into the hallowed halls of the Hypnospace Enforcers.
From the dumpster. Heads up, I told Dylan Merchant. It's cool though, he's a fan. I gave him a password, but he doesn't have the all-seeing eye, so Reckoning, don't murder me. He apparently loves the dumpster and didn't know what to make of Mink, but after seeing it, he loves it too. He'll probably post here soon.
Is this a sick joke? I will very much murder you if this turns out to be true. Dylan Merchant should not be here.
I'm really liking this Reckoning guy. Up next is a post from 80085. Now, where have I seen that number before?
From Dylan Merchant. Hey guys, I know you're probably thinking, oh, it's a suit. He's going to shut us down and spy on us, but that's not why I'm here. I used to run with communities like this back before Net Settlers started, so I know the drill. I'll just be here enjoying all the sweet stuff you guys do. To be honest, I love the dumpster, which is why I reached out. DM.
Don't sign your post, you sack of sellout garbage. Also, go away.
Ugh. It was a mistake inviting Dylan. What a drag. Next post up, Reckoning.
From the Reckoning.
The HSPD Enforcer program is stupid, clunky, unethical, and will be ineffective. This is Merchant Soft at their most incompetent. They're picking volunteers from their user base to go around and hammer on page elements with a gavel tool. If the element is found to be in violation, they'll give the citizen whose page it was found on violation points. Number 1, people are stupid. They're going to hammer all kinds of unrelated trash and tie up bandwidth. Also, what counts as a violation? Who decides? Number 2, as we all know, Hypnospace account security is notoriously poor. It's way too easy to edit other citizens' pages. And 3, they keep hiring fresh-faced kids who know absolutely nothing about network security. Yet another unsurprising yet baffling Merchant Soft move. Good luck with your newbie police, scumbags.
From the dumpster. And the volunteers are paid in HypnoCoin. They're so cheap. From Dylan. Hey, Reckoning, so I hear your skepticism, but I don't think you really know our game plan here. Number 1, most of the time they're just given cases based on reports sent in by citizens. Also, maybe this is inefficient, but I set it up to alert me when a violation is reported and can very quickly look at it, and then confirm or deny it. It just works. And 2, no, I don't think we all know this. Our security is excellent, and yeah, you Minx people do some boundary-pushing things, but I like you guys. And 3, not true. Our interns and employees are put through all kinds of tests and are generally the best engineers and tech heads I've ever met. You snoping and freezing.
That first post is concerning. First of all, it gives us some insight into how the violation system works. Obviously, from a game dev perspective, specific elements are marked as violation. But from the story's perspective, it made no sense as to how the system determined what was and wasn't a violation. It couldn't have been automatic because I feel like the AI tech or any sort of virtual automation tech wasn't at that level in the late 90s. And even if it was, if they had the tech to determine what was and wasn't a violation, why did they need enforcers to hammer them? This is because every time we hammered something down, it was being sent directly to Dylan, or perhaps somebody high up in dispatch to be quickly looked at and decided whether or not it counted. Does this mean that when we start hammering out evidence, Dylan will start to see our submissions to Chelsea? Well, let's not let fear paralyze us. Up next is Reckoning. Again, we're still in November 1st.
Alright, Reckoning. HypnoS Dream Tools.
HypnoS Dream Tools. 0.5.26. Newest version of Dream Tools is up. It's in the Freelands now. South of the dock in the entrance. Requires second sight. Added a few virtual pet hacks for fun. Speaking of pets, did anyone notice that the pets decrypt sandwich files if you feed them to them? Roddy Wall is a useless nerd, but that's cool to have. I was about to make my own sandwich tool.
Ah, so you're the famous Reckoning who sent us all those weird things in the mail. This doesn't seem too malicious, so I'm cool with it. Don't post it anywhere else, though, or else I'd have to delete it if it gets reported.
You think I care about your approval, dipweed? We're gonna have to bleep that out.
Okay, so there seems to be some nifty debug tools hidden in that island in the Freelands. Good to know. It made sense that you had to hide it with second sight, or else Gil would have thrown a shit fit. Lastly, we have a post on November 5th, the day we became an enforcer. This one is from Jezzo.
And then we got Jezzo. The U.S. Education Council thing approved Counselor Ronnie. Bursting with laughter. The Merchantsoft creative team interns all just got cupcakes because they won Merchantsoft some sort of government grant for educational content. Bursting with laughter.
DW proudly meets and surpasses all requirements to the 1996 American Republic Children's Entertainment Act.
From the dumpster. Either they just didn't actually read any of it or couldn't figure out how to use Hypnospace. Or maybe some Minx-esque idiot like us works there. Either way, congrats. This is legendary. From Dylan. I just heard the news from Adrian. Great job, Jezzo. Don't be so down on yourself. I'm sure it's great work. Also, it's funny that our interns even post here. Haha.
Dylan is a walking, talking buzzkill. So this further confirms that Counselor Ronnie was an internet shitlord psyop. Jezzo seems to be this sort of troll-happy member of Minx, being responsible for Ronnie, Beef Brain, and T-Nubs, among many other things. Now, we already scoured the Minx forums on the second shift, so let me brush through all the main bullet points. We have Connie coming across Minx after being given free Hypnocure by Reckoning. Then we have Jezzo bragging about the success of Beef Brain. Now, there's something of note here. Despite Dylan being cool with these guys, he's not happy with the heat that Beef Brain has been causing Merchantsoft. Even if Beef Brain is very obviously a hoax, there's something about this pressure to evaluate the safety of Hypnospace that Dylan is not a fan of. Keep this in mind. We have Dylan trying to shill his shitty Outlaw game and Reckoning telling him what's for. We have Dumpy fishing for dumpster ideas, and Dylan trying to conscript Minx as his personal army against Samantha. We have some Minx members discussing the Cool Fest 99 fiasco, and Reckoning pointing out some similarities between Father Fungus and Freezer's music style.
Oh yeah, huh? He talked about working with Freezer at some point.
Let's finally confirm our suspicions.
We'll come back to this real quick. I want to show something that's pretty neat, although it's already, I think we've already basically confirmed this. So, under construction, right? Here's what's kind of nuts. Fungus scene, if we go back in time, so this is blocked, right? We can't actually get to this, but we basically snuck in, Chrono Trigger style, went back in time. I don't even know if that's how, I don't even know if that's a game mechanic in that game, I just assume it is. And now we're on the other end of that under construction side. So, here's the big reveal. Who is Father Fungus? Hi. I'm a recording engineer, synthesizer geek, and vocalist who enjoys coming up with new ways to manipulate sound. I've been doing music for a long time, and you've probably heard some of my stuff without even knowing it was me. I'm freezing. Is there a chill in here? Yes, I'm the guy behind Freezer. I recently signed a big contract with Isotonic to be behind-the-scenes producer and songwriter. I'm not able to perform live. Super bad stage fright. So they're gonna have me work with a live musician to establish Freezer as a big live act. I guess it should be fun. Of course that changed, obviously.
Of course, we were able to put this together by simply reading between the lines, but now we have proper confirmation. The reason Isotonic propped up Jan Wolf as the face of Freezer was because the original Freezer, the OG Freezer, had stage fright. I feel like this also adds a little bit of extra subtext to the song The Fool, since it's a song about the self-doubt that Freezer, or now Basidia / Father Fungus, still tussles with. Now, back to Minx. So, Reckoning ponders about Father Fungus being Freezer, and then we have Reckoning suggesting that they induct Tim into Minx, with Dumpy and Dylan disagreeing with the suggestion.
Dumpster doesn't want to, Dylan is against it, and then Reckoning is like, fuck off! Better luck next time, fuck boy!
And now that takes us to our final shift, the moment before the Y2K mind crash. The main reason I skipped over this during that shift was because it revealed a whole lot about some of the things going on behind the scenes during the mind crash. I really wanted to do my best to preserve the mystery of Tim's involvement in the mind crash to help recreate some of that doubt and heaviness going into this HAP sequence. So starting off with the first post on December 24th, right before Christmas, we have Dylan requesting some leniency from Minx.
Guys, please, give us a break on New Year's Eve. There's so much we're trying to do to make this place better. Better for everyone. I get Reckoning's points and agree with them. We're making changes and doing what's best for our users. Please, 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 just let us do this and then have your fun. Beef Brain was funny, but it has rippled into insanity internally, and we really don't need something like this on Y2K. Thanks all. I highly doubt that you get my points, let alone agree with them. You should be more worried about running your poorly written software on those cheap headbands than anything we're going to do. Also, why are you posting on Christmas Eve?
So I already alluded to this earlier, but it seems whatever internal investigation that the Beef Brain hoax caused has led to some damaging discoveries. Keep this in mind. Up next, a post by Jezzo.
From Jezzo, also the Dr. Minx and Counselor Ronnie reporting for duty. Outlaw in the year 2000 update? Since Dylan is here, I was wondering, are you guys really putting Outlaw in the year 2000 update? In the build from a week ago, the network code wasn't even working. Are you outsourcing or something? Also, me and the other creative team interns want to know when we're being paid. December checks weren't handed out. Could Merchant Shaft... It's good. Could Merchant Shaft be any more of a disaster? Wow. From Dylan. Yes, it will be. There was a bottleneck with our programmers right before that build came out because we had to let somebody go, but it will definitely be in the update. Listen, I'm pulling 120-hour weeks over here to make sure it does. And I'd never outsource Outlaw. It's too important. It's going to blow you away. Yeah, but what about those December checks? Merchant Shaft. Now, here we go. So this is the reason why I held off, because here is where it basically full-blown spells out all that stuff. From the dumpster. Where's Dylan? I mean, he wasn't my favorite person in the world, but why was he flushed? He can make life very hard for me, so I'd really rather we just let him hang around. Things are happening. He can't be here. Hypnospace isn't going to survive the millennium. I've found something big, and I'm digitizing it right now.
Not gonna lie, that's kinda scary. I wonder what those findings were. The next thread is a continuation of the last shift's Tim and Minx thread, by Reckoning. We've gone over this. Let's just start where the new messages start.
So continuing from Reckoning jumping down Dylan's throat. This is the dumpster. Well, Reckoning, he's obviously a big fan of your stuff, but he's just doing it for attention. There's no meaning. Almost all of this junk is to show off for that Tiff chick. It's a high school mentality. Half of his greasy, pimply friends would be in Minx in no time if you invite him. So no. No meaning. Well, that's an interesting critique from the dude who runs the dumpster. Also, did you see what he did to those guys in Teentopia? That's justice if I've ever seen it. Small scale, sure, but effective. Some time passes. Okay, you guys were right. Tim just launched a year 2000 mind crash attack. Okay, more of a game than an attack, really. He launched the attack on Hypnospace tonight, and it's entirely meaningless. It is completely overshadowing my leak, and people really need to see this. I wish he'd stop it with the theatrics, because this could hurt people if anything happens to my leak. I'm putting it back up on my island, in the Freelands.
Okay, so Tim's mind crash has nothing to do with what was going on. It was a coincidental happening that happened to distract from Reckoning's Stop Using Hypnospace page in Central. And if you remember, those download links and possible evidence was taken down. Dylan got to it before anybody could see them. We'll revisit that page in case you don't remember what I'm referring to. And finally, one final post from Reckoning.
Stop using Hypnospace right now. Look inside. Don't use Cyberworlds either. I won't post it here since the chances are too high that Dylan can find a way to see this. But if you have second sight, search this tag, Revelation. Putting a backup copy on my island. Same one as the Dream Tools in Gil's dumb area. Nobody goes there anymore because Merchantsoft deleted half of their stuff by accident, bursting with laughter. I won't be using my headband ever again. You know where to find me outside of here. P.S. Dylan is out of Minx again as of right now. Some of these screens are very incriminating and I can't risk him knowing what we know.
Okay, so we have a handful of leads. First, we'll check out that page by Reckoning in Hypnospace Central, the one posted on New Year's Eve. We can access this through the Revelation search tag. While the downloads came up corrupted, maybe there's something there for Samantha. We'll send them over and move to our next lead in the Revelation tag. It's Reckoning's main page, it seems. He's a net settler loyalist, savant, hacker, and resistance leader. Underneath, we have a seemingly blank projects page, but with second sight, we can read leaky piping, HS Dream Tools, and second sight. Well, given that he's a hacker, maybe it was Reckoning that hid the second sight file in Terry's Halloween pack. Now, before we follow up on that Dream Tools lead, let's first read our hypno-mail from Samantha.
Dear God Enforcer, you just found a jackpot. These reports have horrifying implications. It seems that people in sleep time weren't really sleeping much at all. Surprised more people weren't hurt. If you can find anything else, inbox exchanges, chat logs, really anything where Merchantsoft admits any fault, send it to me. There has to be something floating around out there. In the meantime, I'm gonna start putting this information together for the authorities. Wait, hold on. Was there actually something in there?
Being deleted.
Yeah, deleted, right?
Deleted.
Huh. Despite those files being corrupted, she found something useful in them. Weird. Don't worry, we'll soon find mirrors to these corrupted files and get to see what Samantha saw. Now let's read this mail from Dylan.
How about if we go back in time?
Important message received from Dylan.
Oh, suck my Dylan. Okay, so this isn't okay. Reliving your old enforcement days. Hey there, Enforcer. I noticed you're racking up violations on some user. You do know there are other ways to get HypnoCoin, right? Anyway, I just thought it was amusing. It's funny that our violation reporting system works without our servers online, but hey, that just goes to show how good I am at coding. Also, your name sounds so familiar. Did we used to chit-chat?
Uh-oh. He's onto us. But we're more onto him. Now, where was I? Yes, Dream Tools. We'll have to find Reckoning's island in the Dreamlands. Scrolling down and using Second Sight, we can find... Ha! I can't escape this man. Everywhere I go, he comes up. But this time I'll get it right. Second Sight reveals a hidden image of Haran. You may know him as Charon or Charon, the Greek ferryman commonly used in pop culture as a harbinger of death. But of course, this doesn't take us to death, but revelation. Here we can purchase HypnoCure Pro for 1 HypnoCoin, in case we don't already have it. And we can also download Dream Tools. There's also a link labeled Merchantsoft Clinical Trial Backup, which takes us to a tagless, unlisted page. Using Second Sight, we can download those medical files that Samantha was able to decrypt.
Gotcha. The Final Reckoning. Act 1. Merchantsoft commissions Hypnospace headband clinical study to silence brief brain rumors. Act 2. Merchantsoft isn't happy with the finding and buries them, instead commissioning paid tests by independent experts. Act 3. Reckoning releases copies of the damning documents, bringing an end to Hypnospace and Merchantsoft. Good riddance. Click to download unreleased Hypnospace clinical study abstract and share far and wide.
We can submit Reckoning's outline, the download link, and its mirror.
Document retrieved from adrianmerchant.com email account. Hypnotext transcript. Effects of nighttime use of Hypnospace technology on sleep quality in healthy individuals. Background. The recently released product Hypnospace allows participants to browse a virtual world during their nighttime sleep, using a wearable Hypnospace headband. This new technology has quickly grown in popularity, but this has also attracted criticism from laymen and scientists alike. Little research has been conducted on this range of products thus far. This study aims to examine how users' sleep quality is affected when wearing Hypnospace headbands. Methods. In November 1999, we selected 21 healthy individuals with no history of sleep disorders. Their sleep was monitored for 4 sequential nights using polysomnography. Participants were also asked to assess their sleep quality each morning on a scale from 1 to 10. Concentration and focus tests were conducted each afternoon to examine the level of fatigue experienced by subjects. Subjects wore the Hypnospace headband during nights 3 and 4 only. Results. The mean or average time spent in REM, or random eye movement sleep, which is a shallow form of sleep. You want to get past REM if I'm not mistaken. During the nights without the Hypnospace headband was 22.9, give or minus 5.2%, similar to data found in literature 1. I guess that's just the averages and whatnot. During the nights when the patients used the Hypnospace headband, time in REM sleep increased significantly to 49.7%. Give or take 8.9, indicating poor sleep quality in those nights. Almost all, I'm assuming this means roughly 19, patients experienced an increase in REM sleep when using the Hypnospace headband, 16 significantly so. Subject reported average to good sleep quality during the nights without the Hypnospace headband, 7.2, give or take 2.2 on a scale from 1 to 10, but reported worse sleep quality during the nights when they had worn the Hypnospace headband, averaging 4.5, give or take 1.9. Almost all subjects, roughly 18 of them, experienced a decrease in concentration and focus on days 3 and 4 after using the Hypnospace headband at night, 16 of them significantly so. Conclusion. Nighttime use of Hypnospace increases random eye movement sleep and decreases both objective and subjective quality of sleep. Daytime fatigue increased after using the Hypnospace headbands in most patients. Long-term prospective studies are necessary to further determine effects of continued Hypnospace use. Until then, we recommend discontinue or severely limiting use of this product. Conflicts of interest. This study was funded by Merchantsoft Incorporated.
We also have some charts here comparing the 2 somnographic tests. The implications here was something we were already able to surmise quite early on. The very catchphrase of the introductory video of Hypnospace is, sleep time is no longer downtime. Hypnospace sought to replace sleep with neural stimulation. Even with a vague understanding of sleep cycles, we can put together that in order for someone to properly use and view Hypnospace, they must occupy the same state of sleep of which dreams are most vivid and memorable. REM, rapid eye movement. This sabotages the user's quality of sleep and is the reason why even as early as our first shift, we see Hypnospace users complaining about fatigue and sleepiness. You see, you want to rest past REM sleep in order to get a proper deep rest. Now, what Reckoning's mirror of these medical files confirms specifically is that because of the beef brain hoax, Merchantsoft had no choice but to fund an independently done study. And when they came to find out that there are, in fact, negative effects of Hypnospace use, not only did they choose not to publish it, they went even more sinister. Through tech news, Merchantsoft's PR focused on the absurdity of beef brain. This acts as a sort of straw man or scapegoat to quiet any sort of health concerns of Hypnospace. I can't help but feel this is a very common propaganda too in the corporate world. Debunk an absurd conspiracy theory so that you can more easily hand-wave away legitimate concerns. It's very frustrating, and this proves culpability on behalf of Merchantsoft. We're just getting started, however. Let's check out this Dream Tools app. Its icon is a set of 3 Z's. Very cool. We can send test debug messages, play random effects which humorously are just read out by Hippie, and you can even have him read what sounds like the first chapter of Moby Dick. I wonder if we missed some sort of symbolism between Dimitri's voyage and the story of Ishmael. Well, we can also donate to Reckoning. However, if we ignore the instruction of positive values only and then put a negative value, we will get that much in HypnoCoin.
Do not steal from the Hacks gods. You will be punished.
Oops. There's a button for testing the installer function and a button that seems to call forth your download window. Just regular debug tools that I bet Jay Tholen used when developing this game. Here's Reckoning's message for us at the bottom.
I am not liable for any unintended consequences of using these tools. Do not message me if you encounter issues. Do not contact Merchantsoft about these tools for any reason. Blah, 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 blah. I'm sure you've downloaded hacker apps in the past. You know the drill. Created by Reckoning.
Now all that's left is leaky piping. Oh boy. Now this song is fire. Of course, it's a track by Slushmouth. And so this takes us to our finale, the 3 mysteries of Hypnospace. Mystery 1. Consolidation, collation, the compiling of information and data into a singular organized matrix. In the world of tech, I imagine it's a helpful method of organization, but when it comes to diverse communities with specific topics and intentions, the consolidation of these zones can only lead to confusion and disillusionment. Why did Merchantsoft choose to delete 5 zones and consolidate their pages into a singular Starport Castle Dream Station? I present to you the mystery of the deleted zones.
In this edition of Leaky Piping, Merchantsoft deletes 5 thriving Hypnospace communities because they're geeks and losers. Leaky Piping, number 1, the mystery of the deleted zones. Can we do something about those geeks? You've been putting it off. Adrian, the geeks make up like 1/3 of our citizens and half of the zones in Hypnospace City menu. We can't just delete their pages. What do you want me to do? They're still everywhere. When new people come, they'll think it's a geek club. Hypnospace is different because it's for mom and dad and grandma and kids, not for computer geeks. We have 5 zones for geek losers, and not even 1 zone for sports. It's ridiculous, Dylan. Okay, but tell me something today. Hello? I'm back. One intern, Ralph, some R kid, said to condense the geek zones into one big sci-fi cybercog comics gaming zone, but make it seem like an exciting event. Probably not a good idea because of the inevitable backlash. Well, can you move all their files to the clunker? I'm assuming this is like a server base that's a particularly like low bandwidth. So we can put the stadium on Speedy 1, a server with a higher bandwidth or faster bandwidth, so it runs fast for the big Y2K event. Private chit chat from Roddy Wall. Hey, Dylan, did you have anything to do with this Starport Castle Dreamville thing? Oh no, Roddy, I'm so sorry. We had a team of interns trying to solve a problem for us, and they chose to put a few zones together on their own server, and I totally forgot your pages were there. I should have watched them. It's okay, but it would have been nice to know ahead of time. Is it just my connection, or is my page loading slower? Probably just hasn't propagated fully yet, or something. It's no big deal. This is the sports. Look how fast this thing loads. Just like that. Isn't that crazy?
So that's it. Merchantsoft completely undermines and alienates half of their content contributors. Why? Because to save money? No. As a mistake? No. Because they don't want their product, Hypnospace, to be associated with geeks and losers. Can somebody explain to me how Adrian is the business-brained one? What a total blunder. This also confirms that the reason why the Freelands and Starport Castle Dream Station were throttled, essentially, bandwidth-wise, was not for punitive reasons, but simply just to prioritize more preferred zones like the stadium, sports. People are going to tune into Hypnospace for sports. I may have glossed over it a little bit, but yes, if you do go back and try loading up the stadium, it's like fast. Whereas if you recall when we were scouring the Freelands, you had to shake the hell out of your mouse to load each and every single page. Mystery 2. Dylan struggled between two versions of himself. The untamed dreamer, a coder on the cutting edge, taking ones and zeros and forming them into timeless art. And the tamed steward, a man whose duty it was to maintain the fidelity of Hypnospace and preserve its status as the major sleep-time titan it was seen as. A man cannot serve two masters. In a similar way, Dylan could not serve his two whims. He made his choice, and 4 innocent souls paid the price. This is the mystery of Dylan's bad car game.
In this edition of Leaky Piping, Dylan Merchant's bad car game.
So this is November 5th. This would have been, I believe, our shift that ended in a crash. Hey all, I'm working on knocking out bugs now. Just wanted to let you know now that I'm testing Outlaw with a few enforcers tonight. I'd really like to get it in by the Y2K update. Okay, if you think you have time. From Samantha. Not being rude here, but I don't think we have time. We really need to address the bugs and only the bugs. Dylan. Come on, Dylan, you know we can't finish that thing in time. It's cool, but it's not time yet. Samantha, mind your manners. Dylan is a whiz kid. Dylan Merchant. I can finish it. It would be nice if more than one person at this damned company actually understood how huge this could be. I'll finish it myself if I have to. Do your boring daily grind drone work, and I'll do this myself because I'm apparently the only person with creative vision here. From Samantha. Wow. Dylan. I'm sorry for exploding. It's just that this has to happen. Outlaw will be released for the New Year Day update. It's the only way Cyberworlds won't crush us. Yes, it's ambitious, but I'm really just trying to keep us all having a job here. Cyberworlds has good graphics and games. It's true, Samantha. We need to get on the balls. Okay, that got me by surprise. From Samantha. Okay, well, you're the boss. Yeah, it's so good. We really need to get on the balls. But they really shouldn't call it a balls. They should call it a stasher.
Given that we were so thorough, it's no mystery that Dylan Merchant was clearly prioritizing his car game over hammering out the stability of Hypnospace for its Y2K patch. It's a story of half measures. Dylan Merchant shirked on his responsibilities as the lead coder, and because of this, Hypnospace utterly imploded before he could realize his dreams of releasing a video game on Hypnospace. Because he tried serving two whims, he was spread thin, and his dreams utterly imploded. Now before we get into the third and final mystery of Hypnospace, Reckoning saw it fit to release a conversation between Artie and Adrian. Consider this an intermission. I present to you, Nam.
In this edition of Leaky Piping, a brief exchange between Adrian Merchant and Artie. Nam.
Artie, I need your help. Namaste. Nam to you as well. I feel torn apart. Grace P. Cola is such a big client, but I think they're getting cold feet. I need guidance to bring them back. Cool Punk is a big mess. Peace and be still, dear Adrian, for I already knew that this pain has been plaguing you. It filled your eyes as you spoke at the investor meeting this very morning. You're not centered, Adrian. You're distracted. Can you go to the quiet place in your mind? Adrian, let's go there together. Adrian, are you still with me? Is your quiet corner ready? Yes, I'm at the quiet corner in my mind, and I'm in my comfy giraffe chair too. Very good. Now chant slowly as we practice. Om Gum Ganapatye Nama.
Gum Gupply Nam Gumly Gupply Nam.
You know, Adrian, we should do this outside of Hypnospace. Want to meet in 10? You think they're dating?
No, wait, hold on. Are they dating? In Dylan's FLST, he jokes about how he thinks Artie has a crush on Zarid. And, well, Artie is very Zarid Dunstan. You can't stop me, by the way. And, in the first HAP Lost and Found request, Artie kind of made it seem as if Adrian kept bringing up how he wished he had the lyrics to that Chowderman song. Almost as if this was a day-to-day thing. Maybe they, they moved in together or something. Opposites attract.
I like how that counts as evidence.
Leaky Piping 3-02.
Finally, Mystery 3. The job of an enforcer is to mop things up for the sake of the internet, but the job of a corporation is to sweep things up for the sake of the shareholders. Beef Brain was a hoax, but what the internal study on Hypnospace usage uncovered was something truly grave, something that the Merchantsoft brothers swept under the rug. This is the final mystery of Hypnospace, simply labeled by Reckoning, this doesn't sound good.
Hey, Santa's here. Ho ho ho, my incredible helper Reckoning sent me these. New Year Eve promises to be very interesting for Merchantsoft. Leaky Piping 4, this sounds bad. We should probably stop using Hypnospace now.
Starting off with Dylan. I'm not a medical expert, but if I'm reading it right, they're basically telling us that people aren't getting decent sleep when using Hypnospace. Well, lazy bums who stay up late watching TV don't get good sleep. So what's your damn point? In Hypnospace, they can talk to people and learn, which helps brains a lot. Well, that's not my point. The doc said that. Look, don't worry about it. If people are tired after sleep time, just get on fewer nights per week. People are responsible for their own choices. Too much ice cream will kill you, but no one does studies on that. Yeah, Hypnospace is like ice cream. It's good. It's fine. Also, it's our study. It was privately commissioned by us, so it can just stay private. Barbara just suggested it as a way to deal with the beef brain rumors. We'll find some other way. It's not a big deal. Good, A report said that beef brain is fake, right? Well, that would be bad for PR if it was real and if people's brains actually did that. Yuck. Not good for the evening news. I'm reading that abscart. A lot of big words in there. From Samantha. I'm guessing you're still trying to get Outlaw out in the 2000 update? I don't mind this HSPD stuff, but it wasn't the job I was hired to do, you know. Dylan Merchant. As a matter of fact, we're uploading a press preview demo now. And as long as the team puts in the hours, it'll be there by 2000 for sure. Surprised? Samantha. Yes, but more skeptical than surprised, Dylan. I'm begging you, please pause the game right now and get more people on stability. I just ran the updates last week and it gave me the worst headache of my life. Literally. This can seriously hurt people.
So the test runs of the Y2K patch alone was causing Sam's headaches. This is open and shut. The Y2K mind crash that took the lives of a 16-year-old girl, an elderly woman, a father, and a young man was caused by the Merchant brothers' lack of due diligence, their negligence, the botched Y2K update of Hypnospace. Timigeddon was just a boy who had the rest of his childhood stolen from him because Dylan Merchant didn't want his legacy to be tarnished. He didn't want to take responsibility. The story of Hypnospace Outlaw has many facets. The dialectic battle between the wheel and the tower. Are things truly different? Is the world as we know it set on a path of no return? Or are we simply in a spoke of a grand wheel of which the world has seen time and time again? Then there's the angst of chasing the past and the angst of changing the future. Many people we've met on our journeys can be put in either of these categories, and it seems in two cases it ended up in disaster. Chowderman's chasing a former glory got his best friend killed. Dylan Merchant's blind swinging at the cutting edge also got his best friend killed. The only characters that seemed to have it figured out were the likes of Casper, maybe even Gus. Those who have embraced serenity. Within all these key journeymen of creative desolation, there is a common thread. Nostalgia. The obliteration of a past home. The end of the world. When Y2K was fast approaching, people sensed it, but they had no idea what the end of the world truly meant. And when the end of the world hadn't come, people had hope. However, for many, the millennium that came failed on delivering its promises, and some can't help but feel it would have been better if the world truly did end. We'll soon be hearing the lyrics of Dylan Merchant's song, the Millennium Anthem. A lyric that's constantly repeated is, "You let me down, Y2K." That's very fitting, that we started the millennium with being let down, the ball being dropped. In a way, the world did end. We just didn't know in what sense.
From Samantha. You got it! You are beautiful. Just a drop-dead gorgeous hunk of investigating prowess. Did you know that? These conversations are painful to relive. Thank the stars we never followed through on banning Tim. Together, with those clinical trials you found, we have enough to put away Dylan Merchant for a long time. Stay tuned. Who knows, you might hear your name on the news up here soon.
Important message received from Dylan.
Hello, Samantha. Pretty soon you'll figure out, like I did, that HAP Chelsea is actually MS Samantha, a former employee of MerchantSoft. Working with Enforcer, she is attempting to compile evidence that proves that MerchantSoft is guilty of several crimes, one of which is knowledge of the inherent dangers associated with sleep-time computing. Whether she found and submitted these files or not, the truth of this allegation is simple. I am responsible for the Y2K mine crash. Attached, you'll find a link to a confession of sorts. Sorry if this letter sounds a bit formal. I've been waiting to write one like it for a while. You waited 6 years, more than 6 years, buddy. Dreading it, actually. However, I'm not scared anymore. It's been eating at me for over 20 years, and I just need peace. I'm not expecting forgiveness from any of you. I know several incredible people that I previously did not. I finally experienced Hypnospace and the beauty its citizens brought into the world for myself. I'm so sorry to you, Tim. More than almost anybody. Send this to whoever you need or want to. I'll be waiting. Sent from the D phone. I wonder if he's the one who developed it.
This is it. Outlaw 1.0, the magnum opus of Dylan Merchant. He said this was a confession of sorts. All the cars have been replaced with the cars that would have been associated with the 4 to 6 Hypnospace citizens that lost their lives 25 years ago.
Loading in connected Hypnospace citizens. Enforcer connected to Outlaw. All connected citizens successfully loaded into Outlaw.
The Curse of Ambition. Dylan Merchant is one of the most terrifying villains I've ever witnessed in a video game. Not because of malice or intention, but because of his lack of those qualities. An evil man, a monster, would have no pain with living with the guilt that Dylan has lived with. He wasn't a monster. He was a kid in his early 20s, caught between two worlds, cutting away at the future, blinded by his dreams. And with every slice at the cutting edge, the foundations of his greatest work weakened around him. Without knowing, he was purchasing a glory that would never come at the cost of human life. Well, actually, he did know, at least in part. He knew exactly what the effects of Hypnospace were on the human brain, but he was so focused, so appetized by that dream, that he never thought or ignored that it could lead to such catastrophe, such carnage. The reason his story is so terrifying is because it could happen to any one of us. Maybe not in the same exact way, and maybe not at the same cost, but it can happen. After things started to click together in my mid to late 20s, dreams I thought would never come true have come barreling closer and closer to reality. And I can say from my own experience that the closer you get to those dreams, the more blind you become. All your greatest flaws crystallize, your fears become demons, hiding within your dreams, laying traps of which you may pay dearly to free yourself from. You might tell yourself, fine, I'm blinded, I'll burn at both ends, so long as the cost is contained to my own life and it won't affect others. Then that's the cost I'm willing to pay. But whether or not you realize it, people love you. People care and rely on you. If you were to sacrifice your own body, mind, and soul for these dreams, the cost isn't just contained to you, no matter what. People will lose you. The world will lose you. And so with that, you have to ask yourself the question, is chasing my dreams still worth it? You want to know my personal answer to that? Yes, it's still worth it. And that's why I find Dylan Merchant to be such a terrifying character. Because he thought the same thing. He thought the only cost were his 120-hour work weeks. He hadn't considered the cost spilling out and affecting others. He wasn't like his brother who was a greedy schemer. He wasn't a dictator, a murderer. He was a prodigy. In all other instances, a 21-year-old with the ambition and drive he had would be considered a strength. But in this case, it was his fatal flaw. Now, with all that introspection out of the way, I'll say this. On my first playthrough, this final scene did bring a tear to my eye. And on my second, after exploring and scouring the game, I had a very hard time not being angry during this scene. Dylan was a prideful fool, whose lack of due diligence killed innocent people. But now that I stand here, both dispositions have equalized. I don't purely feel sorry for Dylan, and I don't hate Dylan. I'm just disappointed. In other words, He let me down. When we apprehend all the victims of the mine crash, all we have left is to catch Dylan's car, and once we do, the screen fades to white and the game is finally over. Now after this point, we can still explore all eras of Hypnospace through the HAP tool if we want to complete our archiving. But first, the credits pop up.
Downloading 5 files.
Some personal shoutouts I want to make are of course Nick Lives from Home Safety Hotline, who did art for Hypnospace Outlaw. If I'm going to guess what he contributed to, I would say at least one of those things had to be the art for Double Witness.
Look at that! Ha! It's Nick from Home Safety Hotline.
Those photos are hella Home Safety Hotline coded. Dunstan, you can't stop me. And of course, I want to give a shout out to all the musicians that contributed to this game. Jay Tholen, Red Strike, Hot Dad, Queen Jazz, all of them. I hope my focusing on these various contributors to this game doesn't take away from the people I forget to mention, because every single layer of this game is handcrafted. It's got this all-encompassing nature of like this communal stew, but the flavors, the layering, it's very, very intricate. This game was a genuinely fantastic experience, and I cannot wait for Dream Settled. Now this song playing during the credit sequence is the final form of the Millennium Anthem. We're close to the end, so might as well finish it off with one more thorough lyrical interpretation. If it turned out that Jay Tholen first made this song and then just built the game around it, I wouldn't be surprised. The lyrics are jam-packed. Just in the same way seepage can take a younger listener to my childhood, Millennium Anthem can take you straight to the pre-Y2K angst.
I come to visit for the break. I know I don't have it all together. In the parking lot we taste snowflakes. The rainmakers are probably controlling the weather.
Now that second verse does make me think of Dylan Merchant not having the Y2K patch altogether, but I think this is setting up a feeling of unreadiness. Rapture is at hand and you don't know where you'll be going after you die. I've come to visit for the break brings to mind neighbors and loved ones coming together for the end of the world, and this line about tasting snowflakes in the parking lot is so palpable. It's a very specific childhood memory that can only be associated with wintertime. Imagine a kid tasting snowflakes with the uneasy feeling that it may be the last time before the end of the world. And when the world doesn't end, all they have is that memory, the last time a snowflake tasted so pure, before the holidays became forever associated with the end of the world. The bread makers are probably controlling the weather is, to me, just a funny little accoutrement to tie together the high-octane conspiracies people must have been hawking during these supposed end times.
Their shelves deserted and the checkout lines are longer than all the tinsel tying up the tree.
Of course, supply chain issues due to everyone becoming a prepper overnight. You don't have to be a 90s kid to have those fresh memories.
You let me down now. You let me down, 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 down. Y2K.
You let me down, Y2K. Now this one, I admit, is probably me getting a bit too creative. I've already said it a couple times already in different ways, but Y2K, when not speculated as the end of the world, was an exciting numerical event. People alive got to see the first number of the year go from 1 to 2. Just by the way, we like to create importance in patterns. It just felt like it had to amount to a great new era for mankind. Technology was developing at a rapid pace. You had the dot-com boom. The Cold War was well calmed down at that point. The US government was in a budget surplus. The world was far from perfect, but if there ever were a reason for things to look up, it was because the first number went from 1 to 2. And so now we're here. We've got to work harder for less money to spend more on less stuff. And all the while, the top thinkers are lambasting us for how lazy we are, how wanting just a quarter of the promises of the American dream makes us entitled and greedy. And so now that we are here, a quarter of the century past the dawn of the millennium, we can do nothing but say that when the ball dropped on New Year's Eve of Y2K, Y2K dropped the ball.
On New Year's Eve we dawn on the road. Our candles go to water as we wait upon the Lord. In the chapel we'll be safe from snow. We spent all the money we had on billboards.
This is just some more visceral imagery of that end times angst.
Passes by, I wonder how we missed you coming. Still
Going back to that monologue where I was snoping and freezing about the economy, and apologies if this interpretation is too grim, I'll go ahead and read this out again. As midnight passes by, I wonder how we missed your coming, referring to God, or Jesus. I'm still here for Y2K. I can't help but feel this midnight is no longer talking about Y2K's New Year's Eve midnight. From the perspective of the disillusioned, the hopeless, it's almost as if now you're waiting for the world to end. Every new year, every time midnight passes by, you wonder, how did we miss the coming rapture? I'm still waiting for Y2K. Definitely a bit of a grim interpretation, and I wouldn't be surprised if I was totally off the mark, really, with this entire video. But I digress.
You're always intervening when it's my chance to
First of all, like the way the music swells at that point. Y2K. Fantastic. Might as well lean into the grimness. Imagine, you're hopeless. You're knocking away at the anvil, grinding at the whetstone. This all fucking sucks. If only the world would end already. And suddenly, things start to turn around. Your dreams are actually coming closer to you. It seems that things are finally looking up. It's your chance to shine, and bam! The world actually ends. Or you die. Or your dreams just crumble. God intervenes and screws it all up. I only frame it in that way because this sounds very much like Dylan. Right when it was his chance to shine, it all came apart. Maybe this song is a reflection of that millennium angst, and also a reflection of Dylan's personal angst. But regardless, if there ever were an anthem for the end of the millennium, it would be this one. Bravo, J. Tholen. Now before we close this out, I want to cover one more thing. Along with the credits, various text files will be downloaded to your Hypnospace desktop. These are eulogies, one for each victim of the mind crash.
Eulogy to Dark Twilight Tiffany, I took your future away from you. Your little worlds delighted others. Minds destroyed them. I'm sorry. To Mavis, I'm sorry. To Burn and Rubber 50, I hope you're with your wife now, Carl. I'm sorry. Zane Rocks 14, you could have been somebody your mother was proud of. I'm sorry, Zane. Roddy, you might not buy this, but I considered you to be my best friend at the end there. My work consumed me and became me. People who weren't helping me build my masterpiece were invisible to me. Through all of it, you were always willing to come back and put up with my garbage. And God, I wish you hadn't. I'm sorry.
Ooh, I was definitely on the mark with that final monologue. Never mind. Screw dreams. What matters the most are people. The people that we don't realize we lean on so heavily in the chasing of our dreams. Dreams can wait. I gotta call my grandma after this. Now, before you sympathize with Dylan too much, we have one more eulogy. Rod's anti-government page. Again, the Secrets Uncovered guy.
The Rod's anti-government page. Rodney, your family came after us hard after the crash. They disgusted me. They smelled like body odor. Their clothes were stained, stretched out, and dirty. They wore flip-flops. They came all the way... It's a fucking gallows. They came all the way to San Francisco to our offices, and we sent them away. I want you to know that if they're still around, I'm gonna make it right. I'm sorry.
What a prick. Well, at least he's going to do what he can to make Rod's family whole. Now, with all that out of the way, let me give you my final thoughts on Hypnospace Outlaw. Although we've kind of already wrapped things up already pretty well. Honestly, with how many long-winded monologues I've already went on, I fear I'm going to repeat myself. So just humor me this one last monologue. The alt history of the Hypnospace universe's music is so fun and rich. However, within it are small stories that may not be as alt history as we think. There's of course the constant fracturing and splitting of genres in their communities, black and white thinking, high-octane turf wars that come with said fracturing. We have the fair-weather nature of genres and their communities, and the sort of nostalgic memoria that blossoms within the desolation. Hypnospace Outlaw offered us a glimpse, an atemporal fly-on-the-wall perspective of this ephemeral piece of alt history. When you click through the pages, something is being scratched inside your mind. It's the same feeling as listening to a song that you were fond of in your youth. Watching a sub-100 view Let's Play of a video game that finally escaped the tip of your tongue. Somehow the internet is both forever and fleeting. It is an ever-growing desolation, made up of dead patches of memories forgotten, that are reawakened, given new life when they are remembered. It's very quantum, an evergreen made up of dead, ephemeral flowers that reawaken when perceived, but remain dead. What I'm getting at here is, while yes, a majority of the people who once populated this intranet survived the mine crash, there's something kind of sad about the vacuum-like manner of which we experience Hypnospace during our HAP shift. I think back to the way that Reckoning says, "Hypnospace won't survive the millennium. This is the last time I'll be logging on. You know where to find me outside." Kind of freaks me out, because we don't know where to find him. We don't know how he's doing, or even if he's still alive. Even if Burnin' Rubber 50 survived the mine crash, how long would he have lived into the 2000s? He was an old man after all. What about Linda? What is she up to? How are her parents doing? Is Grayson okay? Is Rebe Ruth Penn doing okay since the whole traumatic nothing burger of the Y2K scare? Did Future Recycler's inventions ever take off? Did the net settlers ever settle elsewhere? Aside from the HAP team, we don't know. We don't know where anyone is at and how they're doing. But we were there though. We were there during the silly Gumshoe Gooper copyright debacle. We were there right after the big tragedy of Coolfest 99. We were there to witness entire music genres become born. But when we return to those pages during our HAP shift, we aren't truly there anymore. Instead, what's before us is a vignette to the past, a snapshot of a once lived-in dream world, now on the abandoned end of its liminal transition. But in a way, Hypnospace Outlaw has taught me that this aspect of the internet is not something to mourn. It's almost beautiful, like an ice sculpture, or a mandala circle, or chalk on a sidewalk. Each event, each moment on the internet is a memory preserved in data. While we've been working with all the intricate aspects to internet culture and how it's affected by censorship and friction and whatnot, if there's one thing that unifies this concept together, it is these two aspects, archivism and damnatio memoriae. The internet is a body made up of memories and voids of which memories were once held. It's like a scrapbook that you found in the ruins of a house fire, and time is the fire. Everything on this whiteboard, from copyright to freeware, from censorship to free expression, from friction to bonding, all has some bearing as to what is or isn't remembered on the internet and how it's remembered. The data itself is the light, and the culture is the lens of which the light travels through, if any light travels at all. And you see, it matters not how many pictures you take of chalk on a sidewalk or an ice sculpture. No matter what, you can't go back to that moment. Chowderman can't ungrow his beard. The people of Good Time Valley can't go back to the good times. You can never go back. But that doesn't mean that there's nowhere to go. In my exploration of this game, I've come to grow very weary of nostalgia. I still enjoy reminiscing and unlocking memories, but I'm kind of tired of this idea that our childhoods were uniquely special. That everything else is dull, everything else is slop, the past is backwards, the future is bleak. I'm tired of the idea that the current spoke of the wheel we occupy right now doesn't also have some sort of unique beauty to it. Why do I turn my nose up to Skibbity Toilet? I grew up on rubber fruit animations. Why do I seethe about Gen Z and alpha lingo? The pinnacle of my lexicon when I was growing up was "Rar XD, I'm a potato." Why are the nonsensical recreations of our past seen as wholesome products of simpler times, but the nonsensical recreations of today are considered brain rot? Look, what I'm trying to say is, I love looking back. I love reliving those memories, but I'm done with being sad about it. I'm done with being jaded about the nonsensical kino that's being created today. The slop and brain rot that's actively forming the childhoods that people reminisce on 20, 30 years from now. It matters not that Y2K let us down. It matters not that 2012 let us down or 2020. What matters is that we don't let the future down. I want to give a final thank you to the developers and the people who contributed to Hypnospace Outlaw. Tendershoot, Jay Tholen, everybody. And I also want to thank my dear friend James for putting the time aside to help me out making sense of Hypnospace's alt history music scene. And most importantly, I want to thank all of you for being so patient with this long-awaited video. This was supposed to be like a simple, fun, almost home safety hotline-esque love letter. But it became a far more epic endeavor that I'm very glad we took. The next video is hopefully going to be the start of me chipping away at the insane amount of games that you have been recommending. And I'm not going to beat around the bush. I'll just go ahead and reveal. We'll be starting off that marathon with the Rusty Lake and Cube Escape series. As always, thank you all so much for your patience and your support. Ma salama, suda sutun, hasta luego. I'll see you soon. That's your third cup, Hightower. You gonna finish yours? Those last 2 cups were enough for me. Help yourself. I feel like a bad influence. Jesus Christ, Hightower, when's the last time you've slept? I hate falling asleep. Feels like every time I blink. Every time we fucking blink. Nothing's gonna fall apart just because you've fallen asleep, Detective. I'm gonna call Nancy. You're gonna snitch to HR? What, you're pissed I almost killed a guy? I think that you almost killed that guy because you're sleep deprived, Hightower. Ah, shit. I gotta take this, it's my little sister. That's fine. Ooh. On second thought, go ahead, take your call. I'll be back. Coffee's kicking in. Judy, hey, happy birthday. Just working away. Did you get those flowers? It's nothing. It's just some online service. It's just airplane tickets, man. It's nuts. It's economy. You're right, though, all right? We gotta make time. Make time. Money comes and goes. Time doesn't, you know? Or we don't get it back, at least.
I come to visit for the break.